Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first game of Book 2 of Sens. And who I think is Mitya the one who's drawing this?
Nope.
Okay, well, we're gonna need to be able to
E12?
read. Yeah, we're gonna need to be able to read the stuff that's beneath this. So I'm gonna unfortunately delete it. Okay, so everyone, today we're going to introduce some very simple mechanics. That I know there's a lot of text, but you really don't need to worry that much about this. So, what's going to happen is that we are taking a few pages, six actually, from Sigmata, the Signal Kills Fascist, which is a role playing game that's about rebelling against an oppressive, tyrannical fascist government and overthrowing it. I think there were a lot of parallels between that game and Saul's Death, or at least the version that I want to run of it. So I've taken like one of its core mechanics, the War Room, and we're adapting it. So this is the way that things are going to work from here on. This is a system to determine what the next mission is and how things are progressing within the resistance. The the war room is going to keep track of a lot of different things. When you look at it, it keeps track of the local population. So that's how people view you guys on the moon. How people view the resistance. Right now, the token representing the resistance is on the undecided. So people aren't certain if they hate or love you. For resistance fighters, right now the token is on holding fast. You're not on the run, you're not on the march, you're holding your ground. And the international community is going to be the point of views of Earth and another planet, and other planets, and see if they're supporting your cause or condemning your cause. Different actions that you have can raise your levels in, like love, whether you're loved by the population or not, and things like this. And that in turn uh, changes the signal strength, which is going to either be, right now you're in an uncertain outcome right here. But the more points you have on the other things, the closer you are to imminent victory. And if you lose points, you go into extreme emergency. That kind of changes the the way the setting plays out against you. Um, the resistance is going to be made out of four competing factions with different ideologies, different members, and different problems that arise from them. I get the same names, and I'm going to introduce those different factions as we get along into the game, and you discover like the factions of the moon. But basically, the old men are warriors from Earth. They have this strong sense of honor. They're recruiting very fast. They're basically the like veterans from the North Pole base and from other places that have made their way to the moon and that are, uh, you know, fighters at heart. The faith I'm going to introduce today is a movement for freedom of religion, which is not really accepted in the empire, and who has very strong moralistic views and who is backed up by some quadrillas. The party is one of the biggest changes I've made to this game is basically going to be a faction of aliens whose empire got colonized in the Shadow World by the Empire through portal technology, and now they are trying to overthrow the empire. They have strong political beliefs, and they have very, very weird aspects to them. They're very strange aliens. And last of all, the makers are going to be the people who finance the rebellion and who have vested interest in them winning. So they're kind of in it for the money or for or to get favors, but they are the main source of money for this campaign. So the way that missions are going to roll out is basically where it's going to be in this cycle. We're going to have a resistance action or a regime action, basically something that we're going to select from the pages for the first mission, and that means you get to decide what sort of mission you want to go on. When you look at the list of resistance actions that's right below the coin tracker, it lists all of the missions that you can choose to go on and the benefits you would reap from those missions. So today we're going to be doing infiltration. You're trying to infiltrate into a space that has a ship so that you can leave Earth. Okay. Afterwards, you're going to be the ones who decide what's the resistance actions are going to be. You're going to be deciding the next step in how you proceed with the rebellion as the players. After every action that you guys choose, we are going to have a loyalty check with one of the 4 factions. If I think it's I roll a d6. If I roll above the faction number, it's a failure. If I roll below the faction number, it's a success. So you either get to have the faction is moving forward in a positive way and they're sending you on a mission that gives you bonuses, or the faction is moving in a negative direction and you have to choose between stopping them and losing favor with that faction, losing loyalty with that faction, or helping or stopping them. Stopping them and losing faction loyalty, but you don't lose progress, or you let them do their thing and you don't lose loyalty with them, but you do lose progress on the story, basically. The faction fallout, as we can see, gives penalties to local population, resistance fighters, and international community. Now, all of this is based on America and fighting it against the fascist regime, so there's going to be slight differences, which means what you're reading about the descriptions of the missions will be slightly different. Okay, so without much further ado, we are going to get started. Today's mission.
One question.
Yes.
Basically, the faction status and stuff, is that for the whole group or also for personal level? Because I guess that there's the general token for the resistance and stuff, but individual tokens can also be played, or?
Right. So the faction loyalty is a meter. It's an abstract meter that represents the abstraction of how loyal the faction is to the resistance as a whole, the resistance in general. So if you are losing the support of the makers, if they don't want to finance the rebellion anymore, the loyalty will be low, and everybody in the resistance suffers from that.
Also, it reminds me actually for the benefits itself. What about the original faction with the treasurer, basically? Because we get money because resistance was short of money, right?
I don't understand what the question was.
In one of the earlier games, we did a bank heist,
Yes.
and we had a chip with unlimited money, basically.
Yes. I
Is
think
that going to be relevant or something gonna come back here later?
I think you can. I think you gave it to the person.
Resistance factor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Basically, that money went on to finance the rebellion either on Earth or on the Moon, and to set up uh to like it's already been spent to set things the way that they are currently. So yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. So basically, today we are doing an infiltration mission. You guys are trying to infiltrate a spaceport and get a ship and get off of the planet. A high security facility needs to be infiltrated in order to acquire, in this case, transport. So, uh, right. So your characters know of one spaceport that works pretty well and that is large enough that it's possible to get through the netting, and that is Sydney. On the other hand, you know there are other places that you could go to that are more discreet, but that might be harder to infiltrate. But you'd also need to do like some research. So currently, we that's the mission that we're focusing on today. I don't have much prepared if you don't go to Sydney, so I hope you go to Sydney. Anyways, you guys were on the beach looking at the uh, sunrise after your dangerous battle last mission, and now all of your armors have upgraded. What do you do?
Hmm. Well,
So fuck Soren,
yep,
just to get everybody back on board.
yep. I hope her artificial leg grows twisted.
That reminds me, like if I also go to the comp system, it's like really interesting.
Okay, so I heard Alistair com system, and then I didn't understand anything else you said.
He's
We're going
getting
through half
on.
and five of us, man.
I have Soren's leg, basically.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He has what?
Soren's leg.
Yes, you do have Soren's leg.
Okay, so the first thing that I would like to do is I would like to take a sample
Okay.
of this leg.
Okay.
Store it somewhere so that I can have a look at it in a
Yeah.
laboratory context.
Alistair already figured it out. Like he is partly bionic, but he did save you a part of the leg.
Okay. So you insert a needle inside of the stump. You're going to draw a little bit of blood and flesh into your narcoticium, the medical equipment, and you have a sample available.
I think what we could do is that we still got the Sub-Zeros that should be hanging out here that we created from thin air. We could put it there and hide the Sub-Zeros.
That might be actually a pretty good idea because we can get to the bottom of the sea and back up, no problem, without the ship also.
Yep.
I
Do we have
after approach, by the way. You notice that there's an extra limb on his armor as well.
Right, he has an extra arm on his armor now, thanks to one of his
Crazy.
upgrades.
Nice.
Is it sort of like an arm in the same way that your arms look like arms, or is it like a big claw? Or
He made it look like new like new arms that
Okay.
look like human arms.
I also posted just out of game for reference. I posted an image in the Discord for
Mm.
looking like.
Mhm.
So from our time at the base, do we have knowledge about the like base and cliffs on the waterfront? And if we know that there's maybe one that would be like particularly deep or anything where we could hide the Sub-Zeros?
Yep, you could. You know about the series of caves and underwater tunnels that lead into the base. You know that some of those meandering tunnels could be used as a hiding spot for the Sub-Zeros, for you to leave it there.
Nice.
Also,
But then how do we get away from here?
Yes, that is.
well, there might still be leftover vehicles besides submarine and all the stuff we had delivered.
Okay. Bean,
That y'all should have it.
Bean, I'm sorry if you have any way, if your family is downloading anything on the internet right now, please tell them to stop. Your connection is really hard to hear.
Yeah, no, I live in a student campus, but I can try reconnect Discord, or I can try talk or like this.
Right. Oh, that explains it. We're playing on a Saturday instead of a Friday, so of course more people are on their computers. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to deal with it. Okay.
Otherwise, I can just type something in the Roll20 chat as well. But overall, if I talk slower, it's easier to hear everyone understand what I say as well.
Yeah, I think if you type, I'll read it out loud. Whatever you're doing. Okay. I think that might work better. Okay, so what are your characters doing on this?
Okay, so Mitya, when you want to hide the Sub-Zeros here, how do you want to get to Sydney if we want to go to the moon next?
Oh. Yeah,
Just
that's
go.
true.
I mean, we could hide the Sub-Zeros there as well, right? We didn't have to hide it.
In Sydney.
Yeah. What do we know about the way that the space infrastructure works? Like, is there do we know anything? Is there like a large space station where everything from the ground goes to with like an elevator, or is there like I don't know shuttle transports?
You can roll for Cosmos.
Yeah, that's how this game works. You roll dice.
Alright, so that is a success.
How did I? Okay, well.
So yeah, both Mitya and Cody.
Bless you.
Sorry, you know a little bit about this. There's an enormous amount of trade between the three planets of the Empire. So lots of ships go back and forth. There's also a strong military presence to make sure that the trade routes are protected and that the supply chain is protected, which is one of the big jobs of the Empire. This means that a lot of times there will be heavy security around the spaceports, both to come in and out of a planet, and that they have ships that do random scans of ships along the way. But there are a lot of different space stations around the place, which means there's lots of places to go. If you imagine, if you are familiar with the world of The Expanse, the TV show or the book series, there's lots of space stations out in the belt, lots of different projects that are being set up. So you have justifications to go. It's easy to find a justification to go pretty much anywhere, as long as you have a ship that's clear.
And so the reason that they're only launching from Sydney is mostly because of politics?
So Sydney has the infrastructure, and Sydney is the grain storage of the empire. It produces a tremendous amount of food, and so they need the trade from there, but they can afford to be more choosy for the rest of the goods that are coming from Earth. That's why, apart from food, Earth doesn't export a lot of things. That's there's still, like private individuals who have their own ships, but they would also have their own security, things like this.
Yeah. And is there any way commercially to go from the Earth to the Moon?
Yes, I think it would make sense. You could have things like, like like you take a plane, but instead you take a rocket. Now, you do believe that you do believe there's a good chance that your faces are on the no-flight list.
Yeah, my face is on no flight list.
Well, actually, Alexander's face is not on the no-flight list because his face got taken away.
I'm sure isn't on any list because he's been invisible from great places.
I did not understand that. Can you please type this?
And sorry, Bean.
I know there's a joke to be made with the theme song from The Prince of Bel-Air, and I can't fucking figure it out. Because I can't remember the song. But there's something about my life turned upside down, and I'm sure that could fit my face turned upside down.
Sorry.
Dang.
Okay, so maybe we can go and we could try to, like, one option could be to become part of a mining crew that's going out to the belts with a food transporter, for example. Like, hire on a food transport as like deckhands, and then get out like halfway.
I think we could find some sort of a shady enterprise and just get hired.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's also industry on the moon, right? Like,
yes,
I would imagine that there's big industry on the moon. Yes. So if maybe we can actually go and start working there, like, legit, and then we're there and we can just begin our infiltration mission on the moon there.
Alice is probably going to try and set up another black market.
No, I'm sorry, I can't hear. Like, please just type this. So you've just been going everywhere you want since you're invisible. No-fly lists don't matter to him because he can get into or out of basically any place. Yes, that's
true. Also.
That is relatively true.
Or a thing that we could do also, because we can go through the shadow world, the real world, etc., we could probably just find a place as a stowaway somewhere, just get into, a freight, something
in the base.
Mm-hmm. How about we discuss it on the way?
Yeah, we should go to see them.
So do you take the transport you already have with you, the Sub-Zeros? Alright, in this case.
And you also need to just opening up the fridge, the little fridge of the Sub-Zeros, and just trying to jam a full leg in here. You're like, oh, that doesn't fit. I might have to cut it in two, guys.
What kind of leg? Because I did not give you the whole leg.
Oh, sorry then forget it.
I mean, for reference, maybe you got the food. Because I kept a large part for some reason.
Please type, Bean.
Yeah, we cannot hear you, I'm sorry. Maybe if you can try to reconnect, it's worth a try, I think.
Yeah, it should be worth a try. Right, just...
Okay. Don't ruin the minibar like this, man.
Does it work now?
Not much. No, not better.
Yeah.
Okay, on the moon, Alistair is probably going to start black market trades again somewhere. Yeah, I can see that coming. Okay, your characters take to the sea. You are going to efficiently drive your You're going to very efficiently drive your Sub-Zeros all the way to Sydney, and after that, you are going to come out of relatively small Sub-Zeros as it gets searched. Once again, the search is done with like the
just
tablet.
looks like, can we maybe make it then before we go into the harbor, like so that we at least have our story straight. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think the one we used last time was fine. You know, like we are from a small plankton farm and we're looking for a job, something like that.
Let's go with that one.
This is on the moon, or is this the other one that we've been to
You're
before?
still in you're in Sydney right now. Okay.
Alistair is going to stare at the back again.
Yeah, Bean, I think it'd be best if you muted yourself and just typed, please. Sorry. Okay, so alright. So for reference, he also applied what Mitya said in the base by having rooms only accessible by hopping through the shadow world and the normal world. That checks out. Okay. He had that previously. Okay, so
I would like to be a human.
Okay.
When we go to the port.
Yeah. I think you have enough time to be able to cast that illusion on yourself. What is Alexander's story?
Sorry, I've been extra quiet because people are still sleeping. So, I also, I'm sorry, my brain has been off the shits lately. So, can you explain what you mean by story? Because I'm...
Yeah, no worries. So, you're coming into the harbor of Sydney. Your friends are, Cody is using masterful shadow powers to make himself look human, and the rest are just taking off their armors and pretending to be farm workers, farm hands from elsewhere.
Why I'm wearing armor.
Yes. What, do you have a cover story for you're wearing armor at all times?
Yeah, it'd probably be something like, I don't know, like I'm some armed guard for my friends or something. Like I treat them more like they're my employers when we're around the public than my friends.
Okay, sounds good. You get into Sydney. They start doing the same scan that they did last time, where they're basically scanning the shadow world, and the operator has this blaring alarm coming from the tablet saying, well, oh my god, it's the 5th one this week. It looks like your ship doesn't exist, guys. We're gonna have to manually inspect it. Well, you're for some reason, Cosmo and Rebuff just doesn't register your ship as existing. There's probably an old glitch, or you guys are international spies, and the Empire is blocking the signal from.
You got us. Well played.
Yeah. Well, Mr. I'm sorry, Mr. Spy. I still have to go through your ship to look for contraband.
No, please. You're gonna find all the micro documents and the severed leg. Please don't. God damn it.
He's not going to find the severed leg.
Yeah, I know.
Anything that was loose.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Alistair has already left with the leg being invisible. So the search of the ship yields no particular problems. The operator is going to move you along, and you're able to enter the Bay of Sydney. The operator does tell you, be careful, Sydney is going through some rough times. And as your Subzeris lifts up into to the surface of the harbor, you are going to be able to see, as the hatch opens, smoke in the distance coming from the central rings, and the smell of burning in general coming from the rest of the city.
Oh god.
Alistair's just looking around again.
You're looking around, and there are two mechs currently patrolling the place. Lots of the people are looking over their shoulders, looking at the mechs with a little bit of look of people who don't feel safe in their own cities.
Yeah, Alistair did look at the mech out of interest, but also what I basically is interested in cargo.
Bean, I didn't understand anything you just said. Please type.
I did.
Okay. So he shows particular interest in the operator's log to see if there's any interesting cargo. So go ahead and roll for Chaos to be able to observe that discreetly. Okay, and you are able to look at the operator's tablet over his shoulder. What you're going to see is basically images from basically different points of views of the space of the hatch through which Subzeris come in into the city, and so he has access to basically a camera in the shadow world. You're right now it's showing a different ship being inside of the hatch than yours. So it's like, you know that in the shadow world is another Subzeris that's there, but that is not your own. So yeah, you're going to look at it. The cargo on it looks like they are transporting spare mechanical parts, lots of which are prosthetics of lower quality. Okay. So I'm gonna need you to roll for Void. You do get the bonuses from your stealth equipment, but I'm gonna give you a minus 30. Okay. So yeah.
I already passed without the bonuses.
You're able to pass. So yeah, you're going to wait around with the operator, and at some point he's going to put the tablet down, and you are going to be able to steal it correctly. By this point, your friends are already at the harbor. So I'm gonna move back to them while you decide what you're going to do with the tablet. You do realize very quickly that you can access things that are public on the tablet, which means lots of stuff from the cosmos, but less things from our recent events in history on Earth, the Moon, and Mars. Okay.
Nice.
The other guys,
Good news.
you are. Yeah, you're in a city that is slightly more. There's a bit more smoke and tear gas in the air than there was the last time you came around here.
It's just a normal US city.
I'm gonna catch somebody in the streets random passerby and just go, what the fuck is going on in Sydney?
The person turns to look at you and is going to say, "Oh, well, we're having a little bit of a we've had a group of religious people who've been asking for the rights to their weird religion. Apparently, it's from something back before the Empire that got banned, and well, a couple of days ago they were just doing protests and picking fights with the cops. But the Empire has elected to let Sydney fend off for itself. Basically, like one of the blue beams that have been hitting everywhere hits the top of the inner circles, and an entire ecosystem grew there, and very quickly made monster creatures that the Empire had a hard time fighting off, and so they basically had a lot less people to police the streets, and now the religious people are just going around looking for the saviors, and I mean, good for them. They're getting what they want. They're getting to practice the religion that they want, but yeah, things are on fire.
Yeah.
Can I ask you how many, like roughly how many % of the Sydney population are part of this religion? And
Well,
just to get it
okay.
understanding.
From the news, I can tell that it's like not a huge part of the population, but lots of people are in favor of letting them have, be allowed to worship. So there's a lot of like support at large, and ever since the forest grew up, lots of people have been unable to access their jobs sites and stuff like this, so people don't really have better to do than protest against the Empire. So yeah,
Well, I can
that's
understand
that's
that.
that's what's happening. What brings you guys to tell?
We used to work in a plankton factory, blew up because of a blue ray.
Oh,
We were hoping for a more peaceful situation.
yeah, no, Sydney is not the place.
Dang it.
By the
Well, we're
way,
gonna have to go to the moon.
Small timeout. I wrote this game before the Black Lives Matter protests started, and like I wrote them as riots that were anti-police and anti-government, and now I'm just. Yeah, so trigger warning if that's a problem for anybody who's been to protest recently and has experienced violence because of it, because yeah, that's gonna be one of the themes of today's game. Alright.
No problem.
Okay. So, Bean, he's focusing on the ships and cargo to see if there's anything of either value or used to steal. As well as try to find a pattern in the mecha's operation when pilots enter or exit it, as well as where. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to roll Cosmos for both of those things, please, to operate the tablet. So first off, so you're not going to be able to locate where the mechs have their rotation happening, because in the Shadow World there's no forest, so the whole city is completely different. They had to reposition their mech headquarters in the real world, so you're not finding it. In the thanks to the tablet, you're able to observe the Shadow World and find some patterns to the ships, and you are able to see a lot of goods that are coming in that would be extremely valuable. You have one ship, for example, that deals in air filters for everybody who's in space and things like this. So uh, uh, very expensive cargo. The problem is it's Shadow World cargo, and since you've caused a lot of deviation between both worlds, you don't know if you'd be able to steal it in the real world. But you relay the information to the others. Yeah.
Okay, so does this mean that the ships that are coming in the Shadow World are not necessarily the same ones because of the
Yeah.
differences?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like there's a like the fact that the operator was clearly stating, "Oh, it's the fifth glitch that we've had in the in Cosmo and Rebirth this week," means that you've reached a point of divergence that is too great for like everybody who has access to Cosmo and Rebirth data is noticing that there's something messed up with it right now.
I wonder if there's a blockade on air travel. If the Empire is really, really pissed, it might have blockaded something. We need to know that.
Let's maybe have a look at the spaceport. Just
Yeah.
see, maybe we can find like an information board about all stopping flights or a job board, something like this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's a great plan.
All right. You start to head towards the inner circles. From what you know, the spaceport is all the way at the center, near the military operations. So, you head in through residential districts, which are currently having as you enter it, the streets are completely empty between the two circular walls of the city. On one side, you can see basically like it looks like everybody's home. Planks of wood have been boarded up on houses, but mostly on businesses. And you can hear chants repeating from beyond where you can see into the curve of this circle. You get in deeper, and you're going to reach work circle, and then once you get to the university circle, you're basically going to be under this strange green and purple foliage that has spread around the top of the walls of the city, and you, looking up, are able to see a lot of strange creatures that are climbing around on the vines above you of this gigantic ecosystem that has just popped up since last you came. The university grounds are less populated, but the people who are there are seem really excited about the prospect of what is happening. You see a lot of students excitedly collecting samples of fallen biological matter from the forest above, and talking about extreme evolution processes and things like this.
You go, guys.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, can I just grab one of the guys or one of the students who is gathering up material for study and hand him the probe that we picked up when we met him the first time? I think that was somewhere in South America.
The
When
probe?
we saw, like, after we,
Oh yeah,
like, when we met.
You took
Sorry.
biological samples when you were in South America.
Yeah, where we had the same phenomenon.
Yeah, you're gonna share.
And
that
I would
with-
just quickly explain to them that I come from, that I've been there, that I've seen the same thing popping up there, and that they can have that and should compare the data.
Okay, hold on. So, the student takes out this sort of like data pad and is going to like connect it to your sample, and when they get data, they're like, yes, Herbert owes me 5 credits. Oh my god, this is okay. Right, so the genetic structure is completely different, each being created something a completely new type of DNA, and they're not compatible at all. I don't think any of the creatures from Sydney could mate with the creatures from Peru. I mean, they're like everything.
Try to find if you can.
Yeah.
Try to find a common ancestor, like all the way at the beginning of these experiments.
No, I like
nothing.
It's like see right here, the sample you gave me. It has triple helix DNA, right?
What the fuck?
Yeah, like that's completely like that's something you'd get from an alien world. That's it seems that what's like what my theory was is not that this was like an alien invasion like Herbert was saying, but that instead it's just something that forced life to be created extremely quickly and to adapt to its environment, and just you have to evolve from scratch in minutes. Like I've been getting, oh guys, like I gotta show you this. Like I've been searching through social media, and oh yeah, here's a good one. There's a video of the blue beam like hitting the top of the university. Can you see how quickly like the vines grow and everything? Like it's like I've been trying to collect these, and those are amazing. By the way, who are you guys?
That's a very long story. I think the most important thing for you to know is that we are also kind of on a fence with the Empire, but we have to travel through quite quickly. Although, I would like to have your contact and stay in contact with you about your research if that's possible.
Sure.
I might be able to contribute more in the future also.
For sure. Yeah. He gives you his he's going to give you a number that you can contact this NPC at. Actually,
thanks. My name is Cody. Remember, so when I call you, you know who I am.
I am Ray.
Ray. Hi, nice to meet you, Ray.
Mm-hmm. My pleasure. Yeah. I'm sorry. I have to go and rub this in Herbert's face. Bye.
I understand. You do that. Bye.
Okay.
Nice.
You continue deeper into the more political ward, political center of Sydney, until you reach the inner circle, where the spaceport is. And as you're coming to the edge of the circle, the tunnels through the walls that take you into that circle are guarded by a lot of Imperial soldiers. And like it seems some people are getting through with the right credentials, but a lot of people who look more like civilians are being turned away from entering into the spaceport.
Dang it. Is this heavily guarded?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should
Can
we
we
try?
see, like, are they checking people at the entrance at all? Like, is there anybody getting in, or is it completely blocked off?
They're checking everybody who wants to come inside of this part of the city. Like this part of the city is mostly military and spaceport, and so like everybody needs to have some sort of credentials to get in there.
Yeah, that's going to trigger a flag. Just to check what I type.
Okay, I'll read what you've written. Alistair is paying more attention to 1 shops, 2 enemy headquarters, and possibly weapon storage as 3rd. Any officials or higher ranked people that may have access to information, and 4. He's seeing if any ships or cargo got flagged as legal. So that takes you a tremendous amount of time to do research for all of this. I'm gonna need you to roll for Cosmos at a -10, and I'll start giving you information on those things as you have enough time. Okay, so
Nice.
that's a success.
Yeah, that's still -10 though. My confidence is actually
Oh, so that's a fail. Okay, so yeah, you're
I do spend some time because I'm basically behind the group. I take my time while they're like talking to stuff as well.
Yeah, you're following the group. You're looking through the data. There's just like a tremendous amount of data, and all of the conclusions you come to, since they're based on the shadow world, don't necessarily line up with your objectives in the real world. So that's what's gonna be represented by your -7 roll.
Oh, you could answer a question. On the other hand, Alistair, in the shadow world where there is no forest, how is the spaceport going? Is it still locked?
Yeah, I'm going to figure that out and react as well.
Okay, can you type this? Oh, yeah. Mitya, what was your?
So my question is, in the shadow world, is it the same situation where the spaceport is blocked off or not?
I would say no.
Okay, guys, I've got a way to get into it fast. We do it through the shadow world then.
That's a smart plan, but I think that if we are inside and we want to get onto a spaceship with like a pretense, try to do it in a legal way, then we are not in the lists and we cannot do anything in there because they don't have our names in their computers, right?
Alexander, can you roll chaos, please?
I mean, or we just go into space in the shadow world. That's of course also an opportunity. Right?
Yeah, that should be possible then.
Okay.
Ah,
Everybody
I
else.
can do space by myself. But you guys
Everybody else do a chaos roll. Bean, you too, but you're at -20 because you're also focusing on the tablet at the same time.
seriously. Dang it.
What?
Okay.
What did you say?
Please roll a chaos roll at -20. Well,
Yeah.
nobody notices.
I also have my +50 for my gear though.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, like please write it down if you have gear that gives you bonuses. No, it's
No.
that's for stealth. That was a perception check. Okay. Yep. So you're still at the entrance into the spaceport.
Okay, so I like the idea of going to space in the shadow world, actually.
That could even work. But we still need to find how we're going to do this.
Okay. Everybody gets an extra immersion point.
Okay, so I say we go into the shadow world, we just go into the spaceport casually and try to get a ride to the moon for like work purposes.
Yep.
And then when we're on the moon, we find a safe place to go back into the real world.
We can try that, see how it works. Perhaps we won't be able to, but gotta try it.
Yeah, we can try. I think it sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, let's find it. Maybe we can find an empty alleyway to do the.
All of you roll for void.
Damn it.
So Alistair is going to be okay.
Haha!
Yeah, I have plus 50.
Yeah, like Alistair, you got the plus 15 from your stealth gear, so you do not get noticed as you pass from one world to the next. All of you, like you go into that alleyway, you switch to the shadow world. You come back out and you hear an audible gasp. There's this woman dressed in a black and white nun's attire who's gasping and looking straight towards Alexander and saying, that alley was empty. Wait, you're wearing the oh, are you one of the saviors? I think you look exactly like they're supposed to look like.
Did you say something?
You're in the shadow world.
Sky power.
I was gonna say, did I
I
manage?
have the sky power, but I have to find it in the book. But there's one that modifies memories.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to find it in the books. I don't know where it is.
Just roll for creation. And it's an improvised power, so you need to push. So you need to roll 1d100.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I panicked.
how about Cody? Can you roll a 1d100 for the shadow phenomenon, please?
Can do.
Okay, so 32.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So you rolled 32, so that is a success. You're going to be able to modify the nun's memories. And you also rolled 32 for the shadow phenomenon, which is distorted reflections. Mirrors and other reflective surfaces within a radius of 5d10 meters distort or shatter. Mirrors and reflective surfaces within 31 meters are going to start showing glimpses of the real world and images coming from your visual feed for a few seconds before they shatter all around you. You're successfully able to modify this woman's memories, but a few concerned Imperial guards are obviously confused as to why there's so much glass shattering, why their tablets just broke, and basically they're like, one of them is going to yell, I think we're under sonic attack, raise the alarm, and they're basically going to start like blocking off this area to try to figure out what's happening.
So the way I'm gonna alter the nun's memory is that I'm gonna make her believe that there were a bunch of black blocks smashing the surfaces,
Okay.
like raiding, and that we just entered the streets with her and that we protected her from them and they left.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the nun's memories gets shifted. Then she looks around at you, says, "Thank you so much for protecting me. I had not noticed, but your armor, it looks like the armor of the rumored saviors."
I cast it again.
So close.
Yeah, there's
now because there's chaos and broken, there are any shops in that area.
Okay, so there's shops with broken windows. Yes, there is a travel agency nearby who's got flyers for all the destinations you can go to in the solar system on a vacation. That has completely destroyed glass. There's also a weapons shop for the military that has its alarms blaring and its front window just open for grabs. It's called Cosplay. Okay. So roll for void to try to fool the nun.
Maybe she's too old to understand.
Yes!
Okay.
I'm so happy.
So yeah, this nun is. Oh, I see. Listen. I understand the enthusiasm of your faith, but you can't go around impersonating the ones who are forced to come and save us. That's not. I'm sorry, dear. I really think that's not a good way to to display our faith, because you look like a false idol right now, and the book clearly condemns false idols.
We are from a different domination.
Yeah, you say the book. Which book? I'm a heathen. Hello. I shake your hand. And I need a crash course in your
The
weird religion.
the sacred book, brought to us by the first savior, Samuel Crabby. He found the book. I think he calls it the Bible.
Wait. What did you say his name was? The savior?
Samuel Crabby.
Samuel
You are
Crabbe.
crabbyist?
I see. Good old Sam Crabby the Savior. That's a great name.
Amazing.
What kind of story did I just roll? You say it was an
Please type.
Was it-
Please type, Bean. So
wait,
what?
wait,
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
sister, what's the prophecy? What is he supposed to save you from?
Okay. So hold on. Alistair, you're able to steal an autogun, the type of weapon that you got in the first mission. That's the best that this store is selling. So the nun is going to share with you. Well, we have had our rights trampled over by the Empire for a very long time, and so when Mr. Father Crabby and his angel Raphael came and started spreading the word, they advocated for, the freedom for us to be able to believe in what we want to believe, and the Empire
That's quite
has
circular.
retaliated very, very strongly. And that's why we've been protesting. Crabby has said that at some point we will encounter silver armored angels and that will come and help save the Sydney community. That is the belief, and he gave images and descriptions of those silver armors, and well, it seems pretty much all of you, yes, you look like the four saviors that were announced by Crabby.
Okay. Can you give us an instant, sister?
Yes.
We'll come back to you. And I grab the two other ones and I just go, okay, so listen to me.
Just one thing. You notice she is grabbing her cell phone and starts texting, looking up at you every now and then.
Sister, now look at me. If I'm the savior, please don't call anybody. We'll stay within eye range. If we run, please call everybody.
Okay.
But if you believe in me, you'll wait.
Can I take a picture?
Not yet, but after, if you want, I'll even give you autographs.
Can I take a selfie with you?
Not if we're in the picture, but later we will. We definitely take selfies. And you know what? I'll throw in a free poem. I write you a poem. If you wait,
Okay.
if you don't,
Okay.
I'm going to be pissed.
She deletes the picture she had already taken of you, and she's just going to put her phone down and just wait. In fact, you see her start to pray.
Sister, you're one of the good ones. Okay. and I grab the other two and I go a bit further. So, okay, guys, new plan. Well, not new plan, but new idea. We are the resistance. Sydney is the fucking grain reserve for the Empire. Now, I know we gotta go to the moon, but how does a civil uprising sound to you? Because that sounds pretty good to me.
You should scroll back up the chat and see what
Okay,
people.
Bean, I know. Okay, so you keep looking through the store that you're trying to steal from. It's not okay. So, you're not going to get a lot of equipment that's on par with the equipment given to you by the Restplate armors, because the Restplate armors are some of the most advanced tech available in this setting, which is why a store owned by civilians is going to have at best autoguns and regular frag grenades. That's all.
Yeah, I'm sticking those.
Yeah. Also,
I'm
to me,
taking anything that lose basically.
to
Anything for my extra arms basically.
okay. So to Mitya, he suggested, pretending to be the herald of God, to the religious group. So,
Yeah, could
Okay,
actually
so-
work.
Mitya, I agree with you that a social uprising sounds really good, and I also agree that it would be great to have multiple different groups fighting the Empire at different fronts, like a diverse front. But I also don't know if a religion based on us could deliver that. I don't know if I want to be somebody's savior.
Oh yeah,
I
that
mean-
bullshit. I don't believe in it. I agree with you. No, I'm interested only in the uprising, not in the religion. The religion scares me the fuck off.
Do you think? I mean, these people we heard about, like people talked about them as fanatics before. So I'm not quite sure if we go to them and say, "Hey, we're actually those people," and explain to them what he meant, like we are here to help you fight the oppressors. I don't know if they're gonna follow that, or they're gonna put us as heroes.
Oh yeah, that's not going to be good. But what I mean is that we are currently in a city, religious uprising that seems to be supported by the majority of the people living here, which means that we are days away from a possible actual uprising that not only encompasses the people who believe, but also all the people who just live there.
Yes, I agree.
I think if we sort of smash the authorities of Sydney, then it just happens, organically. I don't know.
So we have to find a way to agitate this conflict without getting involved as saviors. Is that the
Yeah.
plan?
I think that would be good. We could go directly to Samuel Crabby for more precisions if we do it secretly. But that could be dangerous. And I'm struggling to find other avenues for action.
Wait, you want to go and meet Samuel? Do you think is he still alive?
Oh, I think he's still alive. I think he faked his death. I have no idea how.
Yeah,
I think
kind of,
he did.
right? We should ask the nun
About.
about Samuel Crabby if he's still alive, if he's still here. 'Cause then we need to talk to him. That's no question about it.
Sister,
yes.
is Samuel Crabby still alive?
Oh, I very much hope so.
Yeah, okay. So I think he's still alive.
Okay, cool. I don't know. Do we tell her that we're actually those people that Samuel is talking about? Please bring us to him quickly.
In secret? Yeah, that could be leverage.
Yeah.
Oh, but we're in the shadow world, so that's not good. Wait a second. How can he have influence both in the real world and the shadow world? Does he do like the mass at 8 o'clock in one reality and then at 12 in the other?
Ooh. Okay, Simon, the religion was also existing in the real world, right? It was not just in the shadow world.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know. I
really
don't know if he pulls this off. Maybe.
That's fishy that it exists in both worlds, despite the fact that Krabby is a glitch. Well, he can go from one to another, but that's still fishy.
Yeah, and I mean, then there's also still the question of like, why the fuck is he dressing this up as like a religious thing? You know?
Yeah.
Maybe he actually believes in it. Maybe he is a little bit crazy.
Oh, please don't believe in it, Samuel. Oh God. We're not saviors, we're assholes.
Alex,
When
what
like
do you
that.
think?
Right. Do I take this to mean that you are heading towards the outer circles, towards the church?
I think-
The
I don't
nun
know.
will very gladly not only give you directions, but take you there herself.
Yes, I also want her to take us there because I don't want her to talk to anybody
Yeah.
else.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. So you
What am I gonna tell her?
I think it's too late for her, but I think we should just try and keep her as silent as possible.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, I can do the same thing I did earlier, but from a distance so that she can't see us again.
True. I mean, I can also try it. Might be less
Oh, yeah.
dangerous.
That would be much better because that would black everything out and then she couldn't see us again. Great idea.
Yeah. So we make the secret handshake. If you do that, then I modify my memory and delete it again.
Okay, let's do that.
so have
Or like a sign.
have you have you had a pleasant conversation?
Oh yeah, fantastic conversation. Really great. Could you take us in the utmost secret to Samuel Krabbe? But bear with me, sister. It should be an absolute secret. I will take a selfie with you. I will write a poem for you. And what was the last one? Oh yeah, I will. But you must promise that before the holy Samuel Krabbe reveals our existence, you will not say anything to anybody, or I will personally come back and cast you in the fires of the underworld.
Understood.
Right.
I will do my best. You are going to attract gazers with your silver armors. I'm going to recommend we hop by my place. It's a few stages down from here, and I can get you cloaks, garments to hide your armors, or maybe you could take them off.
Good, thanks.
Well, we can't. We can't. Oh, we all have our armors.
Yeah, you're in the shadow world.
I'm stupid. Yeah, of course. I just figured. I don't know. I had a brain fart. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
I mean, I could also drop my human form, and we could be like an Imperial squad, and I'm the bossy quadrilla, and I just tell everybody to get the fuck off our butts.
Yeah, but the thing is, when we get to the church, they're all gonna recognize us the same way she did.
Yes, for sure. That's why it's important to get them secret. Okay, change of plans. How about we meet Samuel in a secret place outside the church, in a
Much
cell house?
Yeah, I think that's much better.
I'm sorry, I don't think I could convince such an important person to take time out of their day without some sort of proof.
Oh, believe us, you can. Wait, and I tried to find a piece of paper somewhere,
Okay.
and then I just write, Samuel, you crazy fucker, come and meet us at the harbor. And I give him a set of coordinates
Okay.
I don't know, in the harbor, is that fine?
In the Sub-Zeros.
Yeah, I gave him the coordinates to our Sub-Zeros, and I
Okay.
just signed Mitya, and I said, P.S. If you don't know who I am, we still have to talk because some crazy shit is going on.
Okay.
And then I
S-
crumple it and I give it to the sister.
she takes it. She says, I take this to the Holy One.
Yeah, and to the Holy One only.
Oh, all right. I
And
will.
if you need something to convince him, even during the mass or something, you can yell out that if he doesn't listen to you, you can just tell him that Team Delta wants to talk, and you can yell that out during mass if you need to.
Team Delta wants to talk. She looks down. She starts to open the crumpled paper slightly, just like she's fidgeting with it, but you can tell that
I put
she's
my hand on it and I tell her, Sister, you cannot look at this, for it will cast you in the shadows of the underworld instantly. It is a type of magic that only us, the saviors, can read.
okay. I need you to roll creation for all of that bullshit.
Yeah, okay. Seems
Can
fair.
I menacingly look over his shoulder? Oh. Sorry, I can't understand anything you're saying, Alistair.
Yeah.
But what I want to say was, can I use my air of authority talent at the same time and help Mitya with his impression?
Yes. What was the Oh, okay. So your air of authority allows you to affect more people with your suggestion rolls and things like this. It means you'd be able to convince a crowd, basically. But
Only-
yeah, you can also roll creation to try to help him out, since he rolled a 2. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think all of us are reading the chat, Alistair. So like, no worries. We're keeping up with what you're writing. Okay. So thanks to your success, the nun is going to believe what you're saying. She's trying to very hard to follow the precepts of not having doubts in her own faith and in her heart, and she is going to try. And if she gets an audience with Samuel Crabby from it, then that's just great. She's going to bow. She's going to say, secrecy, right? I think the secrecy is more important than me taking pictures. Uh, I'm sure the Lord will place you in my path again for you to keep your promise. And but I'll take my leave now. And she's just going to head off towards the outer circles.
Yeah. God,
Holy shit. Oh man.
I really don't like that. Oh. Okay.
I hope he can get to the Sub-Zero safely though. Maybe that wasn't the best meeting place. Maybe something neutral would have been better.
And I was. Oh, wait. Do we meet him in the shadow world or the real?
God damn it! We were just meeting at the entrance of the harbor, man.
No, but it's okay. I think. Damn it! This whole two worlds thing is too complicated for my tiny, tiny brain.
Shit. Okay, we just go to the harbor. We wait in the same hallway where the coordinates for our ship would be,
Yeah, I think we
and then
should.
he's gonna show up there, and then we're gonna find a bar.
And we can just hop through the worlds to check if he's waiting in one or another.
for example.
God,
Good job,
this is
Friday.
so good.
Oh man, okay, let's go.
Alistair, wait. Do not start a riot. Not now. But
Hmm.
I will tell you when we want to start a riot, and then you can go crazy with it. Okay?
Yeah.
So you guys head back out to your Sub-Zeros. You're going to have to stay into the real world where you're renting this place to park your Sub-Zeros, but you're basically able to hang out. Under a few hours are going to pass. Night falls, and are you guys keeping watch? What are you guys doing? This is kind of a downtime, so if you guys want to have a downtime conversation or something, what are you guys doing in this at the docks, basically?
Yeah.
I think Alistair should just patrol the docks or something like that. Are you up for this, Alistair? Just watching out, seeing if somebody arrives, seeing if there's snipers in the windows. You know, normal stuff.
And maybe prepare for starting a riot. Come up
Oh,
with some
yeah.
good ideas for this.
Nice.
It's hard to understand.
Okay. Alistair is going to start writing a stack of notes with "Viva la Revolution," "Overthrow the Imperials," "God is on our side." Is on your side. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, Alistair is busy writing stuff down in downtime, so he's not going to be patrolling the docks.
Oh, Cody, could you? Oh yeah.
No, just type
Yeah.
it, being type
Can't
it.
hear you. Could you theoretically use the tablets? Because I don't know how that works, or Alexander maybe. Use the tablet that Alistair stole to broadcast something.
Mm-mm.
Good idea.
No.
No.
Damn it.
But the tablet would make it possible to observe what is happening in the shadow parts of your dots.
Then I will do that. I will stand guard the tablet.
Okay, so roll for chaos in general to see things approaching. What is Alexander doing in this time during this time? You're near the Sub-Zeros in a city that is currently undergoing some chaos, but the chaos has not reached you so far.
I guess it would mainly just be keeping an eye on things and really playing up the role of a guard for my friends, both for the sake of a cover story and for actual protection.
Okay.
And yeah, just really extra playing into it.
Okay. I would like for you to roll a void with a +10.
Void what?
Roll for void with a +10. I'm trying to be inconspicuous in
With
your
a plus
disc.
what?
10.
10. Okay. That part kept cutting out at the right point. It's not lagging. There we go.
You're gonna have to specify what you meant by. Oh, right. No. Unfortunately, you do not have access to Wilfred's abilities to influence minds with his writing. So you won't be able to do that just yet with your propaganda flyers. Unfortunately, everybody gets an immersion point, and okay, Alexander, you notice multiple people, some of which have crosses, do stare at you for a second longer than they look at anybody else, but. Since you're alone and you're clearly, like, instead of being like this savior figure, just a guard, you pass undetected. And I think you're just gonna hang out with Mitya outside of the docks and observing things. So you can also roll for chaos to see if you notice stuff. You are going to be noticing seeing things more in the real world, while Mitya is noticing things in the shadow. Cody, okay, you're
Oh,
you're not noticing things in the real world because you're rolled a 95.
yeah, it's your helmet. It's too dark. You
It's
can't see through it.
like uh
Grime.
you're getting like not it's not foam, it's foggy glasses, but with your helmet like all the time. Cody, what are you doing?
So understand correctly that everybody else is in the, or that Mitya is in the real world checking the shadow world docs from
Mhm.
the bar.
Uh,
Then
yes.
did I understand this correctly? I don't
Yeah.
know. It was some cutting out. I guess.
You're so basically, Mitya and Alexander are in the real world, checking both worlds for arrivals, and Bean is in moving back from world to world and creating flyers in both, ready to.
Um, yeah, maybe I will. If you guys are okay with that, then I'll just hop into this upstairs real quick, and I will do some. I will look at this DNA sample from Soren.
Okay.
Just to take this time to do that.
Roll for Cosmos, please.
Yeah, because I know that we have at least a decent microscope on board.
You are able to detect, as far as you can tell, this is a human DNA sample, and you're finding it hard to believe this person is centuries old. You don't detect anything that is really standing out of the ordinary in the lake.
Very strange.
During the wait, I will strike a conversation with Alexander that's next to me, just going, "How are you doing with the whole nose? Like, doesn't it shave?" I mean, I know I'm asking this in a bit of a harsh way, but are you fine?
No. Shit sucks. But
Yeah.
I have a literal mask on to hide how much shit sucks. And I'm trying to learn to adapt. And
God.
also find which clothes keep from chafing.
Oh God. You're gonna have to get dressed and you're gonna have to see it in silk. You know that, right?
My
Quite
wardrobe is
stylish.
gonna be so fucking expensive.
Yeah. But, don't you think there's like, we could do something like with shadow about that?
Maybe. I could definitely look into it.
Yeah.
I'm also just like in a mix of like ignoring it and trying to fix it at the same time. So it's like if I try to fix it, it means I have to acknowledge the shit that's fucked.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I know I couldn't have done much, but I wish it wasn't you. I wish it was some random people that died. Okay, I'm not being overly sensitive right now, but you see, I'm sorry it happened to you. That's it. That's the proper way to say it. God.
Appreciated, friend.
Yeah.
You are uh, okay, so Mitya, your attention is brought back down to your tablet as it starts glitching out. You see the a shadow moving across the in the shadow world. This sort of dark figure that's caped and hovering above the ground that is starting to basically cause the tablet to pixelate more and more in the spot where that character is, and then it it's looking around. And then it's going to retreat back. And when you see it again, it's with your own eyes as it has jumped into the real world, and you are going to see Samuel Crabbe, dressed in cloak, coming towards your docks in the real world, followed by another hooded figure that every now and then sparks a little bit of blue lightning on the objects around them. He reaches you, sees you, acknowledges you, and is going to say, "Hello, Mitya. You caused quite a scene at today's mass."
Well, always glad to be a disruption to your bullshit.
Can I come in? I don't want prying eyes to, if the Empire learns I'm here, the assassins might start coming on their way.
Wait, do you need me to invite you in to get in?
No.
Okay, just checking. Weirder things has happened.
Alright, come on, Raphael.
Then come in.
And he's going to step inside, take off his hood. The other character so this is Samuel Crabbe. This is what he looks like for reference, if anyone forgot. And this is wait a second. Oh, he's in Quadrillas. This is Raphael. The Quadrilla. So Raphael introduces himself and is going to say, "Hello, my name is Raphael. I am a companion to your ex-resistance member." And Krabby is going to say, "Okay. Right, yes, about that. I'm not dead."
It's nice to see.
Yes, it is nice to see you guys as well. How is my team? Have you told them?
We might have mentioned somebody was going by the name of Sydney, but we didn't say more.
Okay. Could be better, could be worse, I suppose. Okay, well, I'm sure we have a lot to catch up on. I'm gonna want you to explain to me why there's blue rays of life storms coming from our base and striking all over the planet, but I will, since since you guys discovered me, I will start with my story. I'm sure it's not as interesting as yours, but I do think it will still interest you. So, I came here with my Team Delta, and Sydney was strange. We got here, and everything was changing extremely fast. Basically, the city didn't look like this when we got here. It didn't look like it was multiple circles around the center. It looked like an old city. But there was this being going around, this being in a human form that was with waves of his hands just recreating the entire city, changing everything out of thin air. The others concluded this was the weird readings that we'd been sensing. We'd been sensing that matter was being added and deleted from existence around Sydney, and they engaged, and he defeated them very easily and wiped their memories.
Wait, was that in the real world or in the shadow world or in both worlds?
Both. He like this guy was able to pass between worlds. Anyways, being more prudent, I didn't attack, and so I didn't get my memory wiped. Instead, the creature, I'm gonna call him God because he's able to rearrange matter at will.
Don't call him God. I can rearrange matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, in human form.
Yeah, no, it's not like we can as glitches. It's on a whole different level. Like, he demonstrated it to me. He told me, name what you wish to happen, and I will describe it into existence. And I told him, make a supernova happen, and he took me into space, and as he said, the star is going supernova, it just did. It was...
Can I ask just a question?
Yes.
How did he get you to space?
We teleported.
Like, for instance, in a box?
No, we teleported.
Okay. Oh, okay. Just checking.
Yeah. Like... It was amazing, it was mind-blowing, and there was nothing that any of us could do to stop him. Like, completely outmatched. Like, there's not a single doubt in my mind that there is a living embodiment of divinity walking this world and influencing stuff.
Sounds a lot like an immortal to me.
I mean, it might be. Honestly, I don't think that any of the immortals that we know about come close to this guy. Like, Finland Finger, the best he could do was kill people from a distance. That dude exploded the sun in front of me. Anyways, he told me his name was Sens, and he put me in contact with Raphael, who was my born of the same mother, but in the shadow as me.
Yeah, he's your shadow. Wow, he's your Cordrilla. Sorry. Hello.
Raphael.
Nice to meet you, Raphael.
Raphael is going to nod. And he gave both of us the book, and he gave us the mission. We were to spread his word and wait until the right time. And he said we were supposed to wait for you guys.
And you're telling me this isn't that other asshole that tells the future and has a big box. Something's fishy here.
Right. I don't know who you're referring to, but... So, I started a religion, and both of us being able to use shadow powers, me only in the shadow world, but nevertheless, we were able to work a few miracles, get the masses to believe in us. We got awesome funding. I have this like massive church if you guys want to hang. And yeah, like we got like I barely had to do anything. I told him, hey, the Empire is shitty, they won't let you have your religion, and they started fighting in the streets like they're doing all the work for us. So situation's been pretty good. I've been able to...
I mean, great and all, but why are you approaching it from this perspective? Like, why does it have to be a religion? Like, why are they doing the work for us? You know, like they're doing the work, they should do the work with us.
Hey, listen. You guys all bought into the glitches training thing at camp and everything, and like that's great for you guys. I'm not. I don't really buy into risking my life for a vague concept of free will. I never really wanted this,
I agree with
and
that.
so I bailed from the resistance as soon as I could. And you know what's great? Having a quadrilla that can make a fake version of your body in reality is to fake your death is awesome. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my human form now.
oh, what happened to you?
Long
Life,
story, man.
life happened.
Okay, well,
Just want to let you know that you shouldn't judge other people's morals on that flat of a basis.
gotcha.
Okay, so what's your objective? What's the prophecy? What are you trying to?
Right, okay. The prophecy is simple. I was supposed to wait for you guys. I told my followers, hey, if you see those people, they're important. They're savior figures, and yeah, they that worked. We came into contact again. So good. There is another thing. So a few days ago, apparently you were in Sydney. There's 4 quadrillas that have been stationed here ever since Finland Finger got killed, whose job was basically to try an experiment for the Empire to see if they could undo glitches. They were when they found out when they detected you in the city, right, a few days ago. Before all of the riots started and everything, they started putting their plan into action. Their plan was to create a disturbance in one of the riots and have you go there and intervene because they kind of assumed that you and I were in contact, and then kidnap me while you were on the other side of the city. You didn't go because you were not there. But they still kidnapped me, and then when you didn't show up to save me, they kind of dropped the plan. But I told them, hey guys, you want to meet your glitches? I can arrange a meeting. And it turns out that all they kind of want to go through with the experiment to undo your glitchiness, but they want to do it in with your consent and everything. It'd be yeah, basically what like the whole prospect is this weird thing. They want to have a human life, so they they want to return to being your shadows. They want to analyze you, and then you like they talked about something about eating the body of the antivirus. I don't know who that is, but they say they ate pieces of the antivirus, and so they should be able to realign realities. Yeah, so after I told them I'd introduced them to you guys, and that they told me they weren't that into being aligned with the Empire, but they were going through with the project so that they could become human again, they let me go, and here I am.
Okay, this is a lot to take in.
Yeah, you should have stayed in. You should have come and contacted me when you were here a few days ago. That would have saved me a lot of trouble. They broke my kneecaps, guys.
You probably deserved it. I'm sorry, Krabby.
Yeah.
I know you. You created a religion because you.
Right. You cut off, Idris. You created a religion because.
Because you're lazy. Of course you needed your kneecaps broke.
Hey! Creating a religion is not easy work, okay?
I've
got people on the moon. I've got people on the moon. We're one of the big factions of the resistance right now.
Oh God.
By the way, just he is agreeing with Krabby.
Hold on. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to read what you were saying. Okay, so Alexander Barrel is staying at a distance, but will shadow/follow the character a bit. Also, can someone post the stats for the autogun in Discord real quick? I can't find them. The one creating stuff from thin air is probably Craniston that I turned into a pulp. Aster is totally fine with this explanation, but he's just been having fun with all the glitches space with his experiments and toys, mostly explosive ones. He totally agrees with Krabby's concept of letting others do the work for you, and is taking notes about having them do it for free. Note to self: start a cult. You hear Alistair muttering something over the comms about starting the cult. About starting the cult is efficient and cost effective.
Oh, damn it. Okay. So, just to reiterate, because I just want to stay informed, I'm here out of courtesy for a friend. What exactly do you expect from us? And if it's nothing, then it's fine.
Okay. Well, you guys were the ones to call me, but in case you wanted something, I could use my influence to get it for you, in exchange for, getting me friendly with a few quadrillas that look like, the angels of my religion. Having more of them on my side would be super beneficial. You could help out with the riots that are going on, since you guys are more okay with inflicting violence than I am, yourselves. Against Imperials. Don't look at me like I'm a...
Yeah, I think you have a chip on your shoulder.
Do I?
Okay.
Where?
Yeah, that's an expression. Krabby. God.
So one thing that I think would be useful would be to have a way to contact you if you go to the moon, so that we can stay coordinated in one way or another.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll unblock you guys from my armor. Sorry, I had to make it look like I was dead. He materializes his armor. He's going to unblock you guys from it, and you're basically now able to contact him from it.
Yes. Everybody but the one who asked can now contact him. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need a way to get you. That's all.
Still no. Please type it down, Bean.
Oh man, I wish I
Sorry.
would begin to work again.
Okay. Right. Well, it's been a while. Okay. Hi, Alistair. Hi, Alexander. You're not even gonna drop the armor to welcome and no. You okay? I guess I deserve it. It's a like.
Don't take it personally, Krabby. You know how life... Let's just say that life happened. It's not against you.
Oh.
He just doesn't take the armor off anymore.
Okay.
The armor stays on during sex.
Well, you like so in the original story, one of the player characters falls in love with Meteor, but they're not a quadrilla. So whichever world they're in, one of them has to be wearing the armor.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's really cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I'm going to say this. Well, we want to get to the moon. Right now, that's our mission.
Okay.
For a slew of... Oh, wait a second. Alistair? Can you take out the leg? I want to check something. And I look at Raphael to see if he has a reaction to the leg.
Yeah, like he's confused. Take out the leg. Are you?
No, wait. You're going to be amazed. Alistair, can you take out the leg?
I think he's going to take it out. Yeah.
Okay. So in what?
He's typing it. He's typing it.
Yeah.
By the way, Mitya, Okay, so all of your team are receiving a group message from Soren saying, "I feel kind of weird. Are you pulling my leg?"
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh,
punch it, man.
Theo, Theo. As the leg is being brought out of the refrigerator, you just received a text from Soren Solipsis that says, "I feel weird. Are you guys pulling my leg?"
oh God.
I spaced out for 1 second and I missed that pun.
All right.
Oh my god.
What?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
well.
you guys get only the foot severed from the rest of the leg. Alistair is keeping the rest.
Okay. Oh, so I watch Raphael and I watch Cody. Is this doing anything for anybody?
No, this
Okay.
Do I feel magically attracted to the foot?
no, not really.
No, Mitya.
Had to be
But I
tried.
think it was worth a shot.
Yeah, I throw it back to Alistair at the point where I think he is.
Alistair, roll for a creation to spare the leg from spluttering onto the floor. Anyways, Raphael is going to say, "Oh well, there seems to be a lot of body parts involved in this religion, anyways. Lots of trophies and artifacts and drinking people's bloods. So I wasn't surprised much when my fellow quadrillas decided that they were going to eat someone called the antivirus."
Oh, they ate the janitor. Of course they did. It's not sanitary. You don't know where it's been.
You'd think a janitor would be the most sanitary type of person to eat.
Well, he's the one who hangs out dust all day. I'm not sure a janitor is the most sanitary thing there is.
Depends on whether they're good at their job or not.
Yeah, well, they clean the floor. They don't clean themselves. See what I mean?
Yeah, but no, that feels like a stereotype. I think. Listen, I've been on cleaning duty in the base often enough to know you take a if you're good at your job, you take a shower after you're done.
Okay, but I'm still a little bit confused. When the quadrillas ate the janitor, did that do anything to them?
No, it's part of the janitor was supposed to be deployed around the time that you arrived.
Yeah.
Apparently,
He was.
the emperor, Raphael, tell them. Raphael said the emperor told your shadows, essentially, your reflections from the shadow world, that they were to wait for you here, and that you would come around eventually, and that they were to try and fix your disturbance between the shadow world and the real world, and that they would be given the circumstances to do so when you did arrive. I don't know how the Emperor foretold this, or how all of this works, but it's they surely seem to believe it. Everybody gets
Okay.
1 extra immersion point.
Also, by the way, that's what I thought. Because totally getting
True. Alistair is totally doing this for amusement and wants to see the quadrillas worship foot. I had already cut off the foot at the base and gave it to Cody when he took the sample. Also, you give Alistair bad ideas. He's now considering cannibalism since he has an immortal's leg and he's fascinated by immortality. He's basically waiting for some sample results.
Oops. Alistair, this was a shot in the dark, thinking that might have done something to them eating them. It's like that's not scientifically true in any way. You're not gonna become immortal when you eat this leg, I think.
Okay. So, Krabby,
Yes.
if we sort of appease the bunch of crazy man-eating quadrillas, can you get us to the moon?
Yeah, I could get you a ship. I mean,
Okay.
I'm like it's very reasonable that the Empire is the Imperial forces are um, feeling they're not getting paid enough overtime to manage the riots have been inciting. So their their morale is low. They're about to retreat off of Sydney, fingers crossed. And when they do, we'll have access to the ships. The
Okay.
spaceport, at least.
Okay.
Be amazing, actually, because that's the food supply of the Empire. That's really a
Yeah.
pressure point.
Yeah, they're gonna have to rely on other sources of food, which is bad news for a lot of the Empire. That's gonna be a lot of political weight we're gonna have to throw around. So why are
Yes.
you guys going to the moon?
Good question.
Well, you know about the body parts thing. You know, like there's a lot of body parts in this story. Well, there's one more thing about that. Apparently, Fin Longfinger is all over the moon. That and, you know, Soren's Ellipsis told us to go there, so we kind of have to. We don't have to. Why do we want to go to the moon? Wait a second. Guys, why exactly do we want to go to the moon? Is it because of Soren? Because I kind of hate.
Yeah, I also hate Soren. I don't want to do what she's telling us just because she told us to. But I think we wanted, like, there was definitely something about finding parts of Finger on Finger. I remember that. But apart, between all the weeks of break,
Okay.
I can't remember.
Guys, I think like it makes sense for the moon to be the next big battlefield of the resistance because with the whole plant stuff reconquering Earth, the Imperials do not have a very good hold on the planet anymore. It's kind of a done deed that that Earth is ours, more or less. It's just a matter of time. So I that's why I've been
It's the first
starting
time I'm
to.
hearing this.
Right. Well,
I felt pretty fucking defeated.
I mean,
days
that's
ago.
what happens when you live in a cave. We'd been like I'd been living with you guys in the South Pole cave for so long. I was not aware of the larger world. I didn't even know there was an alien empire that had made contact with our own. Like,
What the fuck?
yeah, you learn a lot
Break
of.
it on us like this.
You gotta get out more, man. You got like you'll only have a small vision of the world when you're with the resistance because they only focus on something, you know. Anyways,
Robbie, I 100% agree with you here.
okay, good. I'm glad. I was really afraid you guys would be more like you betrayed us and you left to make your own religion so that you didn't have to do work. But I was told to by God, like literally God told me to make this religion. So I'm just like at the end of the day, I'm just doing the Lord's work.
So,
Okay, I'm not too sure
how
about.
it just appeared out of nowhere? Like when you showed up here in Sydney, just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, like
Structured the whole
he's-
city, changed everybody's voice.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was like wild.
Okay, can I just
But that
say?
would mean that-
Now go ahead, Cody.
Wouldn't that mean that somewhere around the world there would be people who remember the old Sydney though? Like, why? Like, how did you also change our memories? Because we came here and we had knowledge about the city before,
no, like I was sent here and I faked my death long before you guys were sent to see it, right? So, but I don't know how this works. But I think the only reason I remember that things got changed was because he wanted me to.
Okay.
Just change the memory of like every single person that has ever existed. Everybody's but yours. Doesn't that sound like slightly like maybe you're not on the maybe you're understanding something wrong?
Well, you know, Krabby hasn't had to deal with as much glitches as we had, and he has a small perspective on what memory manipulation can do. While we have a little bit of a bigger understanding on the matter of the subject. But I'm going to say this, whether you believe in what you say or whether it's true or not is inconsequential. You believe in something, fine, believe in it. But I do take offense about you. You know, you believe there's a God, fine. Just don't make up bullshit to go with it. We're not prophets, we're just dudes.
He's going to take out this old, worn out small book, and he's going to say, "This was given to me by the Lord Himself. It's full of wisdom and strange things about countries that have ceased existing since a really long time, but lots of moral ideas, and I think you should read it."
It's
I
a
would like to
Hmm?
I would like to have it if that's okay.
Yes.
I would like to read it.
I'm gonna need it back. We only have a single copy. But here you go. He hands it to you. It's an old Bible with a lot of like notes scribbled down in the margins.
Is there a wait, Cody? Is there a synopsis at the back of the book? Let me see. Can I look if there's a synopsis?
I and
There you go. Now, strangely enough, the synopsis is at the start of the book. First there was nothing, and then there was light.
Yeah, okay. That's gonna be hard read, is it, Krabby?
It's not if you have an open mind.
Oh, I only have a million of those. Oh, you mean an open mind? I thought an open head. Okay.
All right.
So, do we know in this fictional world what the Bible is, though? Like, have I
Nope.
seen the Bible before? No?
It's
So it's like an old religious text.
Exactly. It's part of the things that the Empire forbade at the start. It was considered one of the dangerous things from the old days that had led the cell to gain all of its power.
Fucking authoritarians. Okay, I will take the book and I will have a look at it, especially at the notes for sure.
Is it a good book?
It's
some parts are written really nice, but
Maybe
I
I'll read
haven't
it.
heard any of the countries' names, and then it repeats itself in really weird ways.
Yeah, I looked through the pages with Cody. I never know in this kind of book how you pronounce the name. I mean, what is that? Methuselah? I don't understand. Wait, there's a Raphael.
yes.
Wait, like you. You're in the Bible.
I had I was very early on aware of some of the religious writings in my existence, and I chose a name in accordance to that. And it was afterwards that God came to me and told me my mission was to protect Samuel until your arrival.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something else, Raphael?
Yes.
As you might have already thought, I did not come to being in the same way that you and the other Corderas did in the New York incident. So I'm quite unfamiliar with Cordilla culture. And what I'm wondering is, why are you not in the fighting ranks of the Empire? And is there others like you around?
Well,
Like, it's amazing to see you here together with Samuel, with your counterpart, working together like a union. That's great. How did this come to be?
we formed a covenant. He would not tell me where your base was, and I would not tell him secrets of the Empire. In exchange, we could work together as the Lord had ordained. I was one of the 4 people who fought, one of the 4 quadrillas who fought Finlandfinger in New York, and I was one of the 4 quadrillas to see Soren Solipsis's with my own eyes. In that moment, I saw. Back then, I believe I had met a goddess, and I realized that the Empire's cause was flawed in a lot of ways, and I tried to find another source of meaning in my life. That's when I found traces of religious texts of the Bible, references, and that's when I changed my name. My transformation was complete when Krabby came here and God Sauce contacted me, told me that I had a task, and when I saw him, it was similar to when I gazed upon Soren and saw her immense power, but it was on a different scale. Soren has a strong influence on our minds because of how much she radiates life, but there isn't an ounce of doubt in my mind that she is a special person, but she's not a goddess. There's not an ounce of doubt in my mind that this sauce figure is all-powerful.
And you felt that with your special magic quadrilla sentences.
Yes.
Someone should show the food to him.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's amazing to hear, and really uplifting to see you guys working together like this, no matter how it came to be.
I'm glad. I hope you are able to find similar satisfaction in working with your own reflections. Should I go and fetch them?
Wait. You have contact to them?
Yes. I did try to go and rescue Krabby myself when Samuel was kidnapped and brought onto the cruiser hovering above the city. They were planning for you to make that attack, but I was the only one who went there. They were prepared to fight you in order to analyze your patterns and then try to copy you, but I told them it might be possible to do it without the fighting, so I de-escalated the situation. And I'm
Have
still
you
in
heard
contact
that,
with
guys?
Hmm?
Whoa, man, you're breaking a lot of news to us today, Krabby. I mean, you literally just said we have contact with another alien civilization if we don't even care. Like, you know?
Yeah, well, the world's a changing, and you gotta adapt quick. Like a day ago, 2 days ago, the city I live in had a blue magic ray hit it, and super predators started eating the population. Like,
Holy shit. That's happening.
Shit's weird.
Have we already told you that this is happening all around the world?
Yes, I thought I
Yeah.
told you, and right now it's
Yeah.
you guys' turn to explain to me why it's coming from the South Pole base. Sorry, North Pole base.
So, in your time there, did you remember that we were building these ice tunnels to a much larger dimension?
Oh yeah, it's the thing you nerds from the railgun department kept talking about.
Yep. So we got the railguns functioning to a point that we could use it to evacuate the base throughout the whole planet. But before we could destroy it, the Empire took it over, and somebody of the Immortals, but I forgot his name,
Oh,
he shoots these things around.
well,
it's
Kreniston was a quadrilla.
Oh, yeah. A quadrilla did this. Kreniston. I'm not the right stuff, sure. Kreniston. If you remember him. There's so many of them, Sometimes hard.
Yeah. Basically, it's a long
yeah.
story, but we found all the immortals except, the one that's in pieces in the moon. The base was attacked by the quadrillas. We fled. They took control of the base and used it to shoot life back into Earth. Basically, that's the idea. And you're in Sydney, so you can't probably see it. The skies have started opening up in the whole planet.
Oh, good. Gosh, yeah, it's gonna be nice to enjoy. Like, oh my god, people love coming here for the sun, but when you actually have to live here, the sun is scorching. I cannot wait to feel the touch of the sun somewhere other than in this hellhole. Anyways, okay, good summary, good talk, everyone. If you're okay with it, I might join you and come on the moon too, because my fan base is growing there pretty quickly. So I should have a decent influence to help you guys with.
Do you have somebody who is taking care of the Sydney congregate and possibly soon take over of the city, though, if you come to the moon with us?
Sure, yeah, I'll figure something out. Raphael, you can use powers in both worlds, right? So you're more essential to the operation here than I am. Maybe you could take care of Sydney while I go and work with our friends on the moon. And Raphael is going to say, I will have to pray and in order to consider this decision, ask the Lord for guidance.
Sure. I mean, I have no problem with you coming. I'm just a little bit afraid of your operation here. But that's something that you have to judge.
From the galley comes the smell of slightly seared meat and flambéed whiskey.
Nice.
I'm not certain. I'm not certain it's that nice. Based on Alistair's ideas.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, I will let our friends know you're here. And if you guys want to help me take over the city faster so that we get controls of the ships and we can leave this, planet behind, move on to, the next step in our holy adventure, then yeah, let's do it.
Well, I mean, 1 hour ago we were still thinking about sneaking through the port and getting to the moon secretly, but I think taking over the city sounds like an actual option this time.
Yeah. Let's absolutely help you do that.
All right. in this case, I'm gonna secure some of our allies and get the Quadrilus to come and give you a visit. I'll just a warning. Alistair's reflection is what you might expect.
Oh God, are they like us?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's going to be complicated to navigate. Okay.
Simon.
Yes.
Sorry. Krabby, not Simon. Krabby.
Yeah.
Can I ask you what my quadrilla looks like? Like, is he a
I've got
quadrilla?
images here. I'll send it to you.
Like, I want to know: is he a human being or is he a quadrilla?
This is he's definitely a quadrilla. His name is Spectre.
Oh.
He looks like what your armor used to look like. Alistair, this is an image of Ripple. Alexander, this is a sample, also has this very obvious cross on his chest. And Mitya, this is Kin.
Yep. Oh God. Alistair? I think I've got a fun project for you during the wait for the Quadrilus. Do you want to rig this place to explode in case something goes bad?
Alistair is going to become best friends with Ripple. So, Raphael and Samuel are going to leave you two to be. They head off, and Raphael actually starts to engage in discussion with Krabby, who doesn't seem to care that much, but about the significance of the number 4 in their holy book, and the possibility that the 4 of you might be the 4 archangels or the 4 horsemen, as far as symbology goes. So he asked you to prepare to blow up the ship, not the city.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Basically, Mitya is suggesting that Alistair prepare to blow up the building you're currently in case something goes wrong with the Quadrilus.
Aren't we in the Sub-Zero still?
Yes, you're still in the Sub-Zeros. That's it's inside of a dock, so it's kind of a building.
No, we're not in the Sub-Zeros because we're in the real world, and the real world does not have Sub-Zeros.
Oh. Yeah, but we can conjure it, like we did with this one. Worst case scenario.
Wait, but where have we been throughout this conversation is my question.
You've been inside of the Sub-Zeros.
Okay.
Yeah, you're inside of the Sub-Zeros. Okay.
I thought we were in the real world somewhere. Yeah, okay, let's trap it. Trap the place. Good idea, I agree.
Nice.
Alright. Okay. Well.
Alistair, what are you cooking? I know, I really didn't ask this, but I think I have to. Can only hear him speak. Robot speak. Sorry, Dean.
Mitya, you want to rephrase this from rig it to explode when you wanted to rig it to explode when I wanted to. Phrasing is important with Alistair. Yeah,
Then it's going to be more correct. Okay.
okay. So, what are you guys going to do in the hour during which you have to wait to meet your shadows?
I kind of want to convince them that they need to stop with that bullshit of imitating us and stopping being glitches and quadrillas. I mean, like, Cody, can't you just convince them that, even as quadrillas, they can do stuff and just exist normally? Or is it, too hard to be a quadrilla? I really don't know. I don't have the perspective.
So I assume that, like, I can convince Spectre of that, maybe. It's going to be hard to convince Ripple of that.
Yeah.
But I think it's possible. And I totally agree with you that that should be the plan. I think they should read the book that I'm writing.
What? Like what happened?
No, we can't hear you.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
still can't hear you. Alexander, are you taking any particular measures or steps in the prospect of having a visit from a different version of yourself?
Oh boy. Just making extra sure that I don't even know. I feel like most precautions I would take would not be effective against a version of myself.
Oh, I turned to Alistair as well. Alistair, didn't you steal a bunch of... Can you lend me 2 of them? I think I've got an idea to convince myself. A bunch of swords.
He stole, I think, 2. And they're gonna be in the shadow world.
Oh, they disintegrated. Okay, too bad. Are we waiting for them in the real world?
No, we're waiting in the shadow because of the substairs.
No, the Sub-Zerus is in the real world.
Yeah, we're waiting in the real world. Okay.
And
So... No, it's okay then. I'll find another option.
Okay. So... Okay, give me just 1 second. I'm writing something down. Okay, so 2...
yeah, I think we need to get them to be like leading the revolution, kind of, maybe. You know, they have to be like they have to kind of evade the thought process of the rest of the quadrillas. If we can, because like they would have access to what they're like. They've been living with them for most of their life, not like me.
Yeah, but at the same time, I kind of understand, like, if they would say, we want to be human, we want to be tired of, like, having to carry the responsibility of being quadrillas or something of that, I can totally understand. And if what it takes to convince them is to get them on a Sub-Zerus back to a secret base in Peru where they can just grow a garden, it's fine by me. Because I sort of get...
I agree 100%. Very much. And I mean, I also, like, from the perspective that we also have been thrown into this situation without our consent, right? Like, we are fighting this weird war, like Krabby actually said, like, on this, like, quite singular front, and we've also been thrown into this position without our consent, and we still try to find our own kind of way or something like this.
Everybody gets 1 immersion point, and as you guys are talking on the deck of the Sub-Zerus, in the real world, there's going to be a slight moment where there's a ripple in reality, and you're going to see appearing out of invisibility right in front of you is a quadrilla with his weapon aimed straight for Alistair's face, who's going to yell, "Boom! I would have gotcha!" Oh, actually, no, Alistair is invisible, so he's gonna do that to Alexander. You guys are not very perceptive. And he looks like a quadrilla version of your friend.
I'm tired already. Can I be tired?
Like, you hear a voice coming from outside answering to you saying, "No, we've had to deal with the version of him with superpowers. You haven't. You don't get to be tired just yet." And Kin is going to step inside.
It's not that Alistair doesn't have almost superpowers. All right. Reword Alistair.
Sample is also going to enter, observe, look around, but like not going to say anything much, and yeah, and last of all, Spectre comes in, looks you up and down, and says, "I wanted to be human, so that's different."
Nice to meet you, Spectre. We have a lot to talk about.
But I don't think we'll have to talk too much. As this concept of flee is leave, and leave is questionable. Yeah, Alistair is also invisible. So do I take it correctly that Ripple is... Like, Ripple was invisible, but then he just showed up to basically surprise Alexander and, like, point a gun at him. He's dropped the invisibility. Yeah, like, basically like they're all visible in here now. So, Kin is going to say, "Okay, hi, guys. I don't know if you know the drill, but we didn't ask to exist as this weird blue lightning thing, and right. So the Emperor wanted us to try out this experiment. He said if we ate the antivirus, pieces of him, and we analyzed you guys, we'd be able to, you know, like, be able to take your place in the shadow world, and be able to copy you from the other world, like the antivirus was doing, and we could use our shadow powers to extend the similarities, basically to have the shadow world near us return to the state that it is when it that the real world is near you, essentially having pockets of, you know, the shadow world and the real world aligning again. So,
and that would be everywhere we were walking all the time.
Yes.
And can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, so you've told me what the Emperor wants, and I want to know, what do you want to do? Do you want to do that?
Personally, I think I would like to get to know you before I take your place, but Spectre, Sample, and Ripple are pretty set on trying this. I'm the only one of them who hasn't eaten a finger from the janitor yet.
Thank God, it's disgusting. That guy, we left him dead on the floor. The floor.
don't tell me about what's disgusting, okay? I'm the major reason I'm hesitating to like become you is because I know you guys have to eat and put stuff in your mouths to survive. Like I'm not looking forward to have to copy you for that, but I hear that other stuff is great, like the sex and things like this. So
Oh, wait.
There's just laughing loudly right now. He
okay.
also just popped up in front of people.
So what you're telling me is that you just need to be convinced that being human suck? Because I can do that all day. Prepare for takeoff.
No, like Kinnis says, no. I want to see if your existence is worth copying. Like you know that saying, I owe you my life. No thanks, I've seen it. I don't want it. I want to see if that's the case. I'll let the others talk. Ripple is gonna say, I'm always up for trying new stuff. It sounds good. It sounds like it might work. Sample is going to say,
Yeah, but what might work is what I want to know from you. You know, like
okay, so, okay, Alistair does the same thing to Ripple and surprises him, and then, they're gonna start playing rock paper scissors.
yeah, what I wanted to ask was, like, when you follow through with this plan, like, and you become humans, like, don't you think you're gonna lose a lot of what you're having right now? Like, I've talked to a bunch of quadrillas in the short time that I have been one, and for me, it always kind of seemed like there was like purpose to their life, you know, like they didn't need it to change, you know, they could be who they are, you know, and you don't need to be like follow this crazy emperor guy at all, you know. You don't have to do that.
At this point, we're not really following him. We're following through with a plan that he gave us. Okay, so
Quantum syndrome is a thing. Just want to remind you.
That's Spectre saying, I think you. I think our existences have been very different. We've had to exist we've had to exist being told our entire lives that something was wrong with us. First, as soon as we were born in consciousness, the resistance kind of tracked us down and tried to kill us because we just murdered pregnant women in their eyes. After that, we were told that when the Emperor gathered us, we were told that we were glitchy versions of other people, and that we weren't quite right, and that we were one of the things that was wrong with the Shadow World. In essence,
so are we, man. So are we.
Yeah.
We're also glitchy people.
And
that's not going to change by transforming your body. I can tell you that. I went through it. I'm as glitched as I was before.
Spectre is going to say, I want to know what it feels to feel like things are going the way they should.
Yeah, but
for once,
right.
The Shadow World is so different and messed up, and I feel like it's because we exist that there's such a huge difference between them both. The Empire has already spread out to the stars in the Shadow World and conquered places. Not in the real world, but it's I just
I
want...
think we need to stop calling it real world and shadow world, because this is kind of confusing. None of those two is more real or less real, right?
I agree.
Me
It's more
too.
about the terminology that's commonly used by people
Yeah,
residing in this
fair
world.
enough.
But are you
That's
asking?
part of oppression. Language is a part of oppression.
But are you asking to live in a world that makes sense? Because I don't think being our shadows is going to give you. I think finding meaning is going to give you that. Doing things that we do mindlessly, just in an effort to to just attain an illusionary form of heart. I don't think you're going to have much pleasure in that. Give it 10 days. 10 days and you'll start poking holes about what we do and why we do it. And you're not going to be satisfied just being us.
Spectre is going to answer, I've never... it's still worth a shot. I've never been satisfied being me. As the conversation has gone on, you see that Spectre's armor has started to shift and change to slowly resemble more and more Cody's carapace. Same thing for all the other four who's had their carapace mutate to represent the armor upgrades that you've had throughout your adventures. Sample is going to get up and say the first words that they're gonna say to Alexander. Is this okay with you? I'd like to try.
You'd like to try what?
Realigning ourselves. I can step into the shadow world, stand where you're standing right now, and start to imitate your every movement, and use my shadow powers to make everything in the shadow world be like it is here around me.
Sounds extreme. How do we know we can trust you or that it'll even work in the way that we all want it to?
Can't. I can't help but wonder what it's like being in your head.
I'm going to look at Ken. And I'm just going to say, so your project is to do everything the same as I do, is it?
That's what the experiment was supposed to be. It's
Okay.
their project mostly. My option if I decide to go along with this.
Okay. Can we try a little experiment to find out if it's possible or if it's just massive bullshit? Because I've got an idea.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Alistair, for the idea. Play rock, paper, scissors with me. 3 rounds.
Hmm?
And if you manage to think the exact same as I do, then neither you or I will win. Therefore, proving that it is theoretically possible for you to be in my head. But if you win or I win, then we've got a problem. Because something as simple as rock, paper, scissors, surely you should be able to emulate.
Yes. It's... I haven't eaten parts of the antivirus yet, so I don't know. So I don't think I could be able to synchronize with you. Maybe Ripple can. Ripple has been playing rock paper scissors, and he's been getting better and better, not at winning, but at having the exact same moves as Alistair.
But at the beginning he didn't.
Yeah, at the beginning he didn't, but now they're getting almost always the same things. And Ripple is saying, I think I've got it. I think I've got your parameters recorded.
Yeah, but there's a problem because if Ripple is like me, it's only because it has more chaos.
Okay. He proceeds to high-five Ripple and starts chanting, one of us, discussing how to cause more chaos and, more important, how to divide roles. because Alistair number 1 character trait is unpredictability and amusement, and creating another Alistair only creates 2 times the chaos. Okay. So, Sample is going to say, if we want to try this, one of you has to agree to be a test subject.
But I don't understand why we want to. Why you want to try this?
We,
There's also another point, like, this would mean that we could not be in the Shadow World anymore, right? Because you would always be in our place.
yes, but you could assume that
What
whatever
if we don't want that?
But you could assume that whatever you're doing in reality is also happening in the Shadow World, because we'd be copying you at all times. So it's a different.
But still, we wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I
We
don't
have
know
to
if
copy
I-
everything perfectly, otherwise, as soon as we stop our shadow powers imitating what's happening to you guys, then it would fall apart. Our reality being slightly different would start acting differently.
Okay, then I've got a paradox for you, Kenny. Look into my fucking head. Look into the way I enjoy the fucking Empire, and tell me you want the reality to align. Align yourself to me, and see how it feels like to really fucking want nothing to be the same in the Shadow World and the real world. That's your paradox. The instant you become me, you start behaving that way. The instant you become me, you start causing chaos in the Shadow World, and definitely you stop aligning to me. So that's your fucking paradox. How are you gonna comply with that?
Creating Ripple was probably not a good idea for making him a janitor, because the main character trait is unpredictability and trying new stuff.
Yeah, I've already read that out loud. Okay, I'm reading the rest of what you wrote. If Ripple is tracking what Alistair does, essentially he's going to just take notes and do something else, since he'll have lost interest because Alistair already did it. Alistair's entire reason for existence is causing chaos and making things fall apart for fun. Right. So Spectre is going to offer the following response. You yourselves would become determined again, but everything that you brain realigning, give me just 1 second, but other glitches would still exist and would still be able to cause ripples, just not near us. It would still be possible to fight the Empire, and it would give you the ability to be able to influence both worlds at the same time. It's something that Raphael has actually considered doing himself.
I think this plan is completely insane, Spectre. Didn't you hear what Mitya just said? The moment that you become like me, you want the worlds to be completely different. I think that's the best point I've heard this evening.
Yeah, also that's sort of about Alistair, because as I just said as well.
I'm sorry, I still can't understand what you're saying.
Okay, just read the lesson.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. So. Ripple is going to say, I knew we should have just fought them and forced and analyzed their patterns during the fight and just done it. And Ripple hits his chest and disappears from the real world.
I'm gonna take out. Okay, I don't have a gun. And I'm gonna look at Ken and say, what if I kill myself right fucking now?
Please don't. That's
That's
the
interesting.
one thing I don't think none of us wants. Alistair,
Okay, so-
you are unable to move to the shadow world. There is something in the place that you're at.
So there's only Ken left and what's his name?
No, just Ripple. Ripple is the only one who left.
Oh, okay, I thought Sample did. Okay, sorry.
Uh, yeah. Okay. Spectre is going to be like, God damn it, Ripple, again, and basically, the sample is just going to cross his arms and say, "Okay, well, maybe we see if this works."
Damn it. Well, Alistair, it's your moment.
Oh, okay, you just went invisible. You didn't hop between worlds. Got it. Okay. Everybody turns to Alistair. Well, to where Alistair was a second ago, but he's invisible now. So, what do your characters do? Nothing's really happening.
Spectre, I don't think I want this future for you. Can't you, like,
I'm
see that?
I'm
Through me?
I'm reconsidering it.
Like, I mean, I know we grew up in different ways, but somebody told me that, like Krabby told me that we are similar in many ways. That would
Yes.
mean that you have interests, right? That you like science, that you like plants, researching stuff. I don't know, I can't really tell.
I do. You have
Reading, learning about
okay.
the world.
Do you Let me just say this. From the reports we've had, you were treated as heroes by the Resistance the moment you were born. We were treated as monsters for our entire existence. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
that's
try
horrible.
to I just wanted to try and see what it was like for you. But now that you're talking to me, I can tell it's more about the choices I'm gonna make now.
Yeah. And you know, being treated as heroes, while exponentially better as being treated as monsters, means that you never get the chance to be the hero you were going to be. That people force you to fight a war you have. Means that people rely on you even if you don't have the means to help them. I'm not saying we've had it rough because we haven't. I'm saying that I think life inherently sucks. And I think we can make our own answers in the future and that you have an opportunity right now. If you want to hear, or do you want to create something and find meaning, that's up to you.
Alright.
But I don't want you to disappear into me. That's for sure. And I hope you can respect it.
In this case, I would like you to roll for creation to convince Kin. Same for you, Cody. I would like for you to roll creation to convince Spectre. And Alexander, are you
I
entwined?
rolled 91! God. I'm gonna use a creation. I'm gonna use a prize.
Okay, you're gonna use a.
So my Air of Authority feed says that I can affect a number of targets equal to 10 times my creation bonus.
Yes.
But it doesn't say that I can't do it to one person.
No, like doing it to one person is the base skill ability, basically, of being able to intimidate people or convince them. Now you're just able to do it to a lot of people at once.
But it gives me a bonus. It gives me a bonus also. Plus 10.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
no, wait.
you do get
Yeah,
the plus 10.
loyalty.
Okay. So yeah, Alistair and Ripple. Okay, so here's the thing. Both of you are trying to cause chaos in exactly the same way. So you kind of feel like no matter what you do, you still are unable to pass into the shadow world. Apparently, everything that you interact with is exactly the same way around Ripple right now.
There's one problem with that.
Yeah, no, I read what you wrote, but basically he also wants to create chaos in exactly the same way. But like he's been able to copy you since meeting you, so he's changed into being closer to your self. Okay, Mitya, what is the
The fact I'm using.
yeah, the fact that you're using?
I'm using I love reading and living on the person's eyes.
Okay, hold on. Say
Yeah.
say that again.
Do you want me to copy it in the chat?
Yeah.
There it is.
Thank you. Okay.
And basically what's going to happen is that both Ken and Mitya, their forms are going to flicker back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
and there's going to be a flash of light, and they're like, basically as if they switched place over and over again. And in one instance, Mitya is going to see through all of Ken's life story, and the opposite is going to happen, and they are going to be able to understand each other better.
Okay.
Not like they know it, but like they felt it in an instant, so that they can't make sense of it, but they feel a kinship,
Yeah,
basically.
got it. You are going to feel a strong kinship, and after you do that, there's going to be just a there's gonna be like a few minutes that are going to pass during which Ken like agrees with you and is going to actually help convince Spectre and Sample to try to go for something else, and they're all going to agree to that. And at the end of this minute, Alistair, who is still trying to have things change between the shadow and the real world, is going to be able... Alistair, you're able to pass into the shadow world again.
Okay. Also, there's one thing I should know.
Please type that. So when you get to the shadow world, you turn and you see Ripple there acting very confused, and he's gonna say, "Wait, I was doing everything right." Around you, you can see everyone else is kind of more or less in the same position. Alexander and Sample are exactly in the same place, but Mitya is unsuccessfully trying to convince Kin, and Ripple had moved towards them to try to calm things down, because Mitya seemed like things were not working. And then you start to see the whole thing fading, basically like it's an illusion ending, and instead you're going to be in somebody else's Sub-Zerus in the shadow world, and Ripple is just confused.
Yeah. Essentially, it's happening. It's like if you're
No, like I understand what you're trying to say with the paradox thing that you wrote, but it's like the thing about the antivirus is that he contradicts that paradox by his nature, and that's why, thanks to his flesh, Ripple was able to still do that. But for some reason, the copying stopped. Everybody is everybody is going to get 1 extra immersion point. The the 4 quadrillas are going to meet again in the real world. Ripple is going to say it didn't work. It worked for a few minutes. I was totally in sync, and I was certain I was still in sync. But as soon as I moved to try to help Kin explain why Mitya was wrong, Alistair was able to appear. I don't understand why this failed, but I wasn't able to copy him perfectly. This experiment was doomed to fail from the start. They're all going to take a second to think about this, and then say, well, fuck,
Sorry for you guys.
now we have to decide what we're gonna do with our lives. Give us a minute.
Isn't that amazing?
They're basically going to step outside and talk.
This is really fun though.
Yeah, give them a minute, man. Holy shit. That's so crazy. I'm really happy that we didn't go through with this.
Yeah, me too. I hope they find something cooler to do. Open a bar or something.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're like... oh.
And I mean, I know they can use shadow powers. They can look like a person if they want to. So if they want to have a normal life in a town and pretend like they're humans, they can do that. But I don't know, maybe...
I don't know, I think they're just
Is there
people
any
in the
place
law.
where they could walk around in their normal skin and people would not look after them all the time?
I think they're just like us. They're people in a group. And someone sold them the miracle cure. And that's what he wanted to try. The miracle cure that was sold to them.
Yeah.
I feel like the more I learn about this Emperor dude, the less I like him.
Yeah, it seems like everybody in power here really seems to suck.
Yeah.
And
Like,
I have the feeling that this has something to do with the immortality.
Yeah. I think every mortal we've met has been a horrible, horrible human being. Wilfred is the tamest of them all. Well, as it is.
Yes.
Like, we don't know. Is it him, her? I don't remember.
They're gender fluid, so it's he,
them.
she, them.
Okay, so we don't know that. But she or he might be, a child murderer or something. So let's not jump into it saying they're nice.
That's true. What I'm interested in would be to know what this crazy god character is like. It's like, he feels like an immortal to me with like his ways. Maybe like an older immortal or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's really God and he's much more powerful than them and he's not crazy at all. And he's just like the god that's in this book. Where in the first half he always kills everybody and in the second half he says love is the best thing. Kind of agree with the second half.
Yeah, but at the same time, people deserve to die sometimes. Oh, I just heard myself say that. No, strike that from the record. Oh, God. They deserve to be hit in the head with a brick and survive and reflect on their actions. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Yeah, but man, how can we be of support for these quadrillas I think we should stay in contact with them in some way.
Yeah.
Continue to talk to them.
Too bad they don't have a radio in there.
So, Kin is going to return to your group and say, okay, well, we tried. We have the opportunity to be on good terms with you because the plan was originally to fight you and analyze your fighting patterns and be able to copy you from this. So thanks to Krabby, we're able to talk and have nice conversations. So we're going to repay him the favor and help him out with his side of the resistance until we feel like we've done enough.
Oh, Kim, wait, come here.
What?
Like, people are gonna think you're angels in his religion.
Yeah.
So they're gonna take a lot of credit into your words. Can you do me a favor and just discredit his bullshit at every turn?
I could. You want
Come
to?
on, you know you want it.
You want to? Yeah. You want to make a crisis of faith inside of one of the factions of the resistance that relies on faith for recruitment?
No. I want you to nuance things. You know, the whole
Okay.
thing that God is nice, everything. But, you know, you being angels, I'm sure that he uses a lot of lies to go through.
Yeah.
I'd like you to be a moderate faction. That's it. Be a moderate religious faction.
Okay, so I'm not going to discredit the religion. I'm gonna make Krabby look like he doesn't necessarily know what he's talking about. Because honestly, I don't think he does.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I'm not like, he talks like he's met God, but your armors are supposed to record everything, and he doesn't have a record of that meeting.
Wait.
You know, like, watch out for abuse of powers. And, you know, just remind people that they can do, but they don't necessarily have to go through all the hoops. And, you know, just be nice to each other. And that's the most important thing. Not praying or going to church or giving Krabby a blowjob behind the church. You know, like, just be careful about those abuses.
Right.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, he's, I think he mentioned something about, like, nuns being married to God, previously, and a lot of people who, lots of young people who fancy him decided that they wanted to be nuns.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll
You know, there's a trick you could use. You could, you know, write a manifesto about all you agree with the religions once by knowing them, and you could pin them on the door. You know, you could do that. I think that would be a wonderful idea.
And then everybody would walk in and they could read it.
Yeah.
Such a good idea.
So, out of character, that's Martin Luther King's. Right. Okay. Yeah. You're gonna take one. You lose 1 point of immersion for this, but
Just Martin Luther, right? Not Martin Luther King.
I don't see why my character thinking that pinning a manifesto on the church door.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair. In this case, you keep that point. All right. In this case, yeah.
To get rid of the holy people. Oh man, this is actually what Martin Luther did.
Yeah, the four quadrillas are going to head off in direction of the church. Basically taking the form of quadrillas and just flying through the night sky of the Shadow World. And that's it for you meeting your friends.
Oh man, I always hate it when they go and they don't leave us any way to contact them again.
Yeah.
You'll be able to contact them through the faction of the Faith, basically. So you'll have contacts with them as part of the organization of the resistance in general. Okay, so now you are going to take a rest after this. It's been a very strange day. You've learned a lot of different weird things. You are all going to be woken up by the strange sensation of having messages bombarded to your breastplate armor. and like you're getting flooded by messages from Samuel Crabby, who is indicating need help quick.
Well, I think it's time for the transformation sequence. Does he need help in the real world?
He needs help in the real world.
Okay, damn it. I never get to fight in the shadow world.
Don't worry,
That's one.
you're like don't
Shame
worry.
it.
Um,
Alistair, wake up.
mm,
Gonna be very fun to watch.
I like Bean. I don't think you should keep trying to talk. It's not getting better. It's getting worse if anything. Okay, so, yeah. What do you read? Yeah. Okay.
Read the chat.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you were explaining that if Ripple copies Anister and at the core is the same, it means depending on changing the environment. That's what I was saying. I was saying that like they use their shadow powers to copy your environment as well. That's what they were going. That's what they were trying to do. It didn't seem to work because apparently like the actions changed, but they like Ripple was using his shadow powers to copy your world basically around him, so there would be no differences in environments. But right, let's get back to like the
Just read the last.
last bit.
Yeah, no, after that.
Okay, both
After that paragraph.
both Anister and Ripple can enter both the real world and shadow world, but like not if they're in the same place, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I'm not certain what the relevance is. I think it's best if we move on to the rest of the story, right? So you're being woken up. You're all except for Cody getting calls from Samuel, group calls.
Does Cody sleep? I just never thought of it.
No,
Okay,
doesn't need to.
I will inform him that Samuel Crabby needs us.
So, once you open the call, Samuel is going to let you all know. Hey, so, the Imperials raided the church, and now, we got away, because we can hop between worlds, but, my people are pissed, and they're starting a riot in both worlds. Things are getting worse in the shadow world. Could you go and defend them? I'll do my best in the real world.
At the church?
No, they're inside of the second. They're inside of the second circle right now doing their protest, and based on my tablet that shows the shadow world, the Imperials are sending in the mechs, and that is not good because those things have gigantic rubber bullets. Those things can literally kill you.
Rubber bullets?
Yeah, rubber bullets.
Oh, that must hurt a lot, even if it's rubber.
Yeah.
Rubber weapons are bullshit. Okay, then I think we can head there.
Thank you. I appreciate your help. If you need me, I will be at the church coordinating people's efforts in the real world.
Of course you will. Good night, Rabbit.
Good night. Okay. So, what do you do?
Well, do
Let's
we
head
have
there real quick.
Yeah,
All right.
let's do it.
You head over to a scene of.
Wow.
Do we have to, like, do you think we can kill these mechs, or do you think we have to keep them on distance for a while, or... Holy shit.
Sorry, come again?
I have.
Alright, here you guys are. You arrive at the scene to find that, like, basically there's lots of Imperial soldiers who are there too, who are backing off now, letting the mechs do their jobs, and there's lots of tear gas and smoke gas dispersing the crowd at the moment, but it seems that the mechs, even though the crowd is retreating, are still advancing and shooting them with those very large rubber bullets. When you arrive on the scene, through some sort of, detection sense, they start shooting in your general direction as well. So, everybody roll for initiative. And after selecting your tokens, please.
Damn it. I selected my fucking token. Always the same.
Alright. Sydney. No. Oh, it's in Imperials. That's the thing. Okay. So, this is what one of the mix looks like. You can use the magnifying glass tool on the side to zoom into them if you want to see their images a little bit better.
Okay, so they're much smaller than I thought. I thought they're like skyscraper sized.
No. They're larger, like twice to 3 times as tall as a human size. Okay.
And during the last time we were in Sydney, I was imagining these like skyscraper sized transformers walking around.
Okay. Alright. I rolled a 4. Descending initiative. Alistair, you are the first to act. I'm going to need you to write down what you... they look strong, is what I can tell you. Okay, so Alistair is going to move away from the rest of the group to see if he gets targeted or not. Roll for Void, but you do not get any bonuses from your gear because they have senses that can, like, basically get past your invisibility field. Okay. And so yes, you are spotted, and they keep targeting you.
With rubber bullets.
I'm not going to target them.
Okay, and you're gonna try to... I can see your typing. Mitya, you're up next. You're in the shadow world, so I need you to start thinking about what you're going to do. Same thing for Alexander and Cody. If you can start... You're all acting before the mechs, because they're pretty slow. So if you have ideas on how you're going to act, yeah. Okay, so you are tossing a grenade. Which one of the grenades are you tossing? Alistair? And roll for death, basically.
I think the moment we start attacking them with lethal weapons, they're gonna stop with this rubber bullet
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And then everybody here is in danger.
I
How
think
many
it's too
civilians
late.
are around? Oh yeah. Totally too late.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Alright, so one of them is going to be hit. Can you roll for death, please?
Oh man, there's going to be a lot of civilian casualties.
Well, right now, a lot of civilians are already, like, running away. Okay, so, roll 1d10 to see where the grenade scatters to on the bridge that you're all standing on top of.
God.
This bridge looks like it can take more than a grenade.
It's the grenade that
I
blew up
would
all
not be that certain.
I would not be this certain as either because it's that grenade. Okay.
I don't care.
So 2 on the dispersion. Where the hell is the dispersion? I think it's yeah. So it is actually going to go right there and explode a hole in the bridge, weakening the structure but not causing any much more damage than this. Mitya, you are next up to act.
That's sort of the thing. Like, I don't know what exactly that two signifies, because the thing is, the grenade that's through is, yeah.
Yeah, can you roll the damage on this thing and tell me and write down the penetration you have on that grenade? And yeah, Mitya, what do you want to do?
Can I engage? Okay, this is a bit rules lawyery. Can I engage two of them in melee combat if I go there?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, engage in combat.
Then I will charge and do a lightning attack.
Okay. How many tearing does this grenade have, Alistair? Give me. It's not supposed to have multiple tearings. Tearing. Yeah, it's 5d10 plus 8. Okay, cool. Yeah. So. Wait, it has tearing 8? Oh, Jesus Christ. Hold on. Which grenade is it? Do, do, do. Blast, 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 blast. No, like, wait. Oh, monoball. Yeah. Right, you got it from the other thing. I'll check it later, but yeah, you basically blow up a hole in the bridge. Luckily, the blast radius isn't ginormous. It's 3 meters by 3 meters. So yeah, it only blows up like a small part of the bridge. Mitya, you have charged into combat and done 3 attacks, only one of which
wait, because the charge gives me a bonus.
Right.
How much is it?
Plus, I believe it's a plus 20.
Then I hit all 3.
Okay, then you hit all 3. All against the same target?
No, I will hit 1 on him.
Okay.
And 2 on him.
Okay. Where on the mech are, like, you're just doing a frontal attack on the mech?
Yes, but I have Sens goggles, and I would like you to tell me where the human is located.
All right. So, with your Sense goggles, you are able to see that the humans are located towards the center. Their cockpit seems to have reinforced armor, and from what you can tell, they have less armor on the rear by a lot than on the front and side.
Then I will go just past the 2 and attack them right behind.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and make your free free damage rolls. And what is your penetration?
My penetration, I'm looking at it. My penetration 7.
7, okay. So it's gonna be 13. Okay. Alright.
And I have to roll, I'm sorry, I have to roll a d5 that gets added to that.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay, wait, hold on. It's only the armor for the structure of the mech itself, but you do manage to hit the pilot as well with your first attack. So it's going to be minus penetration 6, you said?
I'm gonna look. Sorry. I closed it. Penetration 7.
Alright. In this case, you do up to... Yeah. So you're gonna deal 7 and 5 on the mech in the middle. Okay, so 7 and 5 is gonna be 12. So 35 minus 12 is... Yeah, got it. Cool.
Okay, and
okay.
then each time I do damage, I need you to.
That's the opposed creation check.
Yeah.
If you hit beyond the armor, if you hit the human, that only happens once.
Okay.
You only
Then
hit
let's
the
do it.
pilot once.
Nice. So how many degrees of success is it?
That is going to be 4 degrees of success.
Okay.
So you do 4d10 damage.
And that ignores all armor.
And toughness as well?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you hear a scream coming from inside of the cockpit as you channel the energies of the shadow through your weapon, and the mech is still gonna move, but its movements seem less, piloted by someone who's on their A game and more, fuck, this hurts. Alright, Alexander, it is your turn.
Alright. I'm thinking... Yeah, we're just going ham on these guys, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
pretty much.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been caught up in a couple of other things simultaneously. Have we decided to go lethal on them, or are we still staying non-lethal?
Oh, they've gone lethal.
Yeah.
Okay. I will pull out my Storm Bolter then and just go fucking ham.
Okay, do you go full attack? Full auto?
Yes.
Okay, in this case, roll for death. And they've all 3 of them have already tried to dodge, which means they have no more defense this turn.
Sick. Damn it.
And unfortunately you fail, and you cannot fix this one with an immersion point because unfortunately it would scale with your damage. We've established that new rule recently. So you start to go full auto, but since you're trying to not hit Mitya, you're actually going to like overcompensate and fire to the sides.
Fair.
Okay. You hear Alistair cursing something on the comm system about his aim being off. Cody, it is your turn.
Okay. Question. My movement, is that in feet or is that in meters?
It's in meters.
Okay. If I charge, do I still have a half action left?
No. Charge is a full action. You need certain talents to be able to do a charge and multiple attacks.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't. If I only want to move and do a half action, how far can I move? Half move? Full
Yeah,
move?
half
Charge?
move.
Oh, okay.
So currently you are.
I can move.
It's in.
Yeah.
It's
It's all a little bit skewed.
You're 10 meters away from.
10 meters away. Okay, so in this case, I would like to move half move, so 2 meters closer.
Okay.
Your half move is 2.
Yeah, I'm super slow.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I'm in the wrong tool. And I would like to shoot one of them.
2 meters?
So so I remember that I'm now 8 meters away from them. And then I would use the rest of my Action to fire my Tesla carbine at the one that Mitya already hit
All right.
twice, the middle one.
Yeah. So Alistair, it's you can do a melee attack as a reaction instead of your defense. So Cody, you Cody, I need you to roll damage once.
Yeah, I tried to shoot somebody again.
That's gonna be me, isn't it?
Yes.
Can I dodge?
Yes, you can use your dodge of this turn. I would not recommend using it on the Tesla carabine shot, but it's up to you.
Fuck. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm gonna use it.
You're gonna use it? Okay. Go ahead and roll for life.
I never learn from my mistakes.
And you rolled a
Guns are really
93.
not my thing.
Would you like to use a miracle or to take the critical hit?
Oh god. I'm so useless in combat, guys.
Damn it. You're gonna. What's your thing with criticals?
You roll 1d5. It's just 1d5, so you don't get any of the lethal criticals, but you get a critical. I think he's using an energy weapon.
Fuck. I'm gonna use it.
You're using a miracle?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna take the damage for the whole campaign. I'm gonna take the damage.
Okay. Alright.
You want me to roll a d5?
Yes. You can just click the critical thing for
Oh, yeah.
this.
Oh god. Sorry, Mitya.
No
No.
problem.
All of the mechs are still there, and everybody gets an extra immersion point.
Yes.
Okay, so I assume you rolled a 1. Okay, so it's a 1 on what was the attack rolled? 100. So that is hit the head with energy. Hit on the head with energy. A grazing blow to the head frazzles the target's senses, imposing a -10 to all tests for 1 round. So you have a -10 all action modifier. That's like for the all action modifier section. And you take what's your armor and toughness?
14 armor and 4 toughness.
Okay, so you take 1 wound from this attack. Oh no, actually, what's the armor penetration on the Tesla carabine?
1 second, I just closed it. 3.
3? Okay, so that brings us
penetration.
to 19, and he had... Okay, so you take 1 point of damage, alright,
Nice.
it's the Max's turn.
Fuck.
Can I interject?
Yes.
The 2 that I marked with a black cross cannot act unless they do a -10 difficulty Cosmo roll.
Because...
Because I have a beguiling gem.
Oh, you have
And
the
they are engaged?
the beguiling gem, okay. So -10 Cosmos roll?
Yeah, well, it's willpower, so I expect it is Cosmos. I could be wrong.
Willpower, usually we use creation instead, but I think Cosmos works better in this case. So, -10. Okay. Oh, because you're in contact with them. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, and -10. Okay, well, they cannot act, even if they get damaged?
Now, no, they can, I think they can react, take an action at their turn, and the next turn, if I'm still in combat with them, you're going to have to do the same until they succeed. They
Okay.
cannot act until that.
Okay, so the other one is not going to move into melee range with you, and instead going to seeing that your presence is clearly cutting communications with his other partners and making them not attack, he's going to shoot you. Alright, and you've already used your defense
Reaction.
for this. Well,
I have, however, charged this turn.
Right. Charge gives me bonuses on melee attacks, but I don't think it gives penalties on shooting, if I remember.
Oh, I thought running in general did.
No, you have to run to do the run movement
Okay.
speed, which does not allow
Right.
you to also attack. All right, so Storm Bolter. Here we go. All right, so Death. I got a pretty good death score. That's good. It's a Storm Bolter, so that is 12 hits.
What?
It's a
I think I'm dead, guys.
okay, so
Oh, no.
12 hits.
Oh no.
Okay, your armor and toughness is 18. My
18.
penetration is 5, so that's going to be 13. Alright, and 12. Okay.
I'm dead.
Oh, no, it's tearing.
Fuck.
Okay, so 13.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, so 13 is okay, -2. So you take 5 from the first attack. And
That's
Yeah.
12.
and 4. So 5 and 4 is 9. -7 is going to be 18. So that's with the minus 13. That's going to be another 5, bringing you to 14. Yes. Mitya, would you like to use a miracle to stop the attack from hitting you?
Of course I would.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to. So...
Would this have killed you?
Oh, definitely. 12 hits at 20 a pop? Yeah, I'm dead.
Okay, so
Because I
which-
have 22 wounds.
Oh, by the way, you could technically have used your secondary reaction to jump into the Shadow World, but that would have also still been a life roll to see if you managed to jump world without needing to use any miracles. But if you choose to use
Then can I try that?
yeah, for sure. Go ahead and roll for life, but it means you can't return until the next turn.
Literally rolling for life.
Okay,
Nice.
that's a success. You're able to dimension hop right as the bullets are coming straight for you. You then release the other 2 mechs by disappearing with your gem from your influence on them, and they are
You've
going to
already done the test, Simon.
Huh?
You've already done the test.
Oh, I already
That's
did the
a bit
test.
easier.
That is absolutely fair. That is absolutely fair.
Nice.
But failing the test only blocks me for 1 turn, and they're gonna be more careful. They are going to move backwards slightly, and just
But they
basically.
cannot though.
They can't.
Sorry.
They can't move either. Okay. God damn it. Okay. Never
Oh
mind.
no, they can't make an action. I'm terribly sorry, you're right.
Right.
They cannot take an action at their turn, but they can move. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So yeah, they are going to use the basic movement systems to try to like move away from where you disappeared from, just in case. Alistair, it is your turn.
Let's go, Edstone.
Okay, go ahead and roll for death. Oh, it's the death grenade. Okay, it's another.
Oh, no.
Okay, roll 1d10 for dispersion, please. Two. So it goes and destroys. Like it goes in the same direct. Like you compensate in exactly the same way as the first time you tried. Which means it ends up at a similar location in regards to them, so it keeps blowing up the bridge in the same area. So right now the bridge is really unstable because of your efforts. So yeah, the bridge is starting to sway under the effects of the wind and grenades. And with your void, you're able to mostly stay undetected by them, which is good. It means that your friends are going to be the more likely targets. Mitya.
Oh, it's me?
Under the case that the bridge breaks down, do you all have jetpacks? Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're the only one.
Alistair does
Alistair
not
does.
have a jetpack.
I can fly.
Oh,
fuck.
yes. Mitya, it is your turn. You can't return to the other world yet, but you are in the real world where a similar protest is happening. There isn't... The mechs aren't there yet, but you appear in the middle of a crowd of people, some of which start pointing to you and saying, "It's the savior! One of them has come!"
I cannot go back yet. That's it.
Yeah, not this turn.
Fuck, what can I do? I will stand there and I will take my sword away. I will take out my big gun and I will prepare it.
Okay.
And I will wait for an opportunity to jump back.
Okay. Alright. So yeah, you shift weapons. Alexander, it is your turn. Mitya has disappeared from the world. The bridge is swaying. The mechs are slightly damaged. What do you do?
Love it. Would I have known that Mitya was harmed before going to the Shadow World? Like extremely harmed?
Like he was not harmed at all. He managed to disappear into the real world before any of the bullets hit, and your sensors don't connect with his armor. But the last signs you had in this world where his life signs were good.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Simon, I forgot something. Can I move away for my whole movement left? For the movement that I have in my turn. Can I just, I don't know.
Yeah, you can
move there. Oh. Okay.
You can move, yes. Now, you don't know that they would have moved in the other world, so you don't know necessarily where you need to move.
I will just move away generally.
So Alistair switches to his gun to avoid destroying the entire bridge. Alexander?
So... Okay. So there... Yeah, okay. I'm not worried about the bridge because I do have a jetpack, so I'm gonna focus more on the mechs and just try my storm bolter again and see if I can get that shit to work.
Alright, go ahead and roll for death. And remember, you get, because it's a storm bolter, you get twice as many hits in.
Okay.
So you're gonna get 2 hits in. Go ahead and roll damage twice, and let me know what the penetration on this weapon is, please.
Should be a penetration of 5.
Okay. So, 31, you're hitting them at the front. You can tell that their armor at the front, at least, is really heavy. You might need to actually flank them or shoot them from behind to be able to deal more damage. Let's see. Keyword Fortress 12. Okay. So,
I'll at least convey that information because, as one of the medics, I don't want to stray too far away from my party.
Okay, so Alistair, I'll answer your question if you remind me later. I'm sorry, but we're in the middle of combat right now. Okay, so, it seems your weapon doesn't get through the mech's armor, at least at the front. It seems to be like too reinforced for this.
Okay.
Alright, Cody, it is your turn.
Okay. Could I materialize a jetpack that Alistair could use in the case of the bridge breaking down?
Yes. Roll for life.
Rolling for life.
I don't think it's an improvised power in the Shadow World, so you are, you are going to materialize a jetpack near Alistair. You don't know exactly where he is.
Yeah, I just wanted to, like, I saw where he was running, in which direction, and in that way I would create it, and I would also shout, like, hey, Alistair, I made a present for you. Take this and save your life if it comes to it.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm just gonna use. Oh no, it's a premium asset. Never mind. Everything? Jetpack? No? Okay. Yes. Maybe. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, this
Nice.
This is a jetpack.
And then I would like to move my 2 meters
Okay.
closer to them. So now I think I would be like 6 meters away from
Yes.
that guy, maybe?
6 meters away. That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay. And roll 1d100 to see if you create shadow phenomena or Now roll another one.
No.
Not
18.
too bad.
What
Okay.
what did you roll?
18.
18.
Side blast.
Side blast. There is an explosion of power and the Psyker is thrown 3d10 meters into the air, falling to the ground moments later. See page 257 for falling damage.
I can fly. Can I
Do
just
you,
fly?
Do you have the flight power activated and maintained?
Currently not.
No, but then not in this turn, unfortunately. So 3d10 meters. I need you to roll 3d10, please.
Oh man, today it's going really well for me in this combat.
You know, I followed Idris's suggestion. Idris was like, "Hey, so the way to balance the combat is for you to really try to kill us." And I decided, yeah, I'm just gonna put them against 3 mechs. He'll be fine.
I think it's fine.
Yeah. Perils of the
60
Shadow.
meters up.
60 meters? What did you...
16.
16. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
257 for falling damage. Okay, yeah, that's farther down than I am.
So in this battle so far, I shot Mitya in the head, materialized the jetpack, and was thrown in the air.
Wow.
250, 7 fatigue, criticals. And okay, wait. It might not be the same book. Alright. Here we go.
Didn't we already say last time that the rules for falling down?
Hmm?
I think we already said last time or the time before that rules for falling damage were silly.
Oh, yes. Yes, they are. I'm not going to deny this. Okay. 261. Okay. Almost there. Uh, Q, heavily damaged, heroic sacrifice, death, healing, stunned, falling. Here we go. To work out damage from falling, simply roll 1d10 plus 1 for every meter the character fell.
What?
Armor offers no protection
16
against...
D10?
No. A D10 plus 16, I think.
I think that would work better. Yes. So
Oh, it's not that?
it doesn't. It's unclear. So I'm gonna go with 1d10 plus 16. What is your armor is 10. What is your What is your life bonus?
6.
Oh no, your armor doesn't count. What is your life bonus? What is your life score?
64 without any additions.
Okay, so that means you soak 6 points. You take 18 wounds from this fall.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
and it's
sense.
now mech time.
I'm not here.
Okay. Well, I think two of you are going to aim at Cody, and one of them is going to aim at. Let's see. Depending on whether I detect you or not, Alistair. No, I do not detect Alistair, so I am hitting Alexander. Okay, so the first two attacks are for Cody. 1 and 2, and the
Can I dodge the second one?
you can dodge whichever one you can dodge both if you believe. And this one is to attack Alexander. All right, I hit everyone. That's perfect. Okay, so it's a regular bolter. Would you like to
That's
roll
all
for?
disappeared in the Shadow Words.
Would you like to roll for life to dodge Alexander and Cody?
The blue one has the storm bolt.
The blue one has what?
The storm bolter.
They all have storm bolters.
Oh,
Oh shit.
They all have basically bolters. So Theo, could you roll for life, please?
Wait, and one of those rounds killed you, Mitya?
because I used my second reaction to go into the shadow. Oh, but I had another reaction. I just realized I didn't avoid. Oh no, because I failed. Okay, that's it. It's fine.
Okay. So Theo, you're going to be unfortunately hit 3 times. That's okay though. You have decent armor. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it is tearing, so the damage is actually a lot less. Damage. Okay, so you soak 9 points. What is your life bonus, please, Phil?
My life.
Yeah.
51. Oh wait, no. Life is 49.
49. Okay, so you soak an additional 4. Give me just 1 second. Your armor is 14. So 9 plus 4 is 13. Okay, so you soak 13. Okay, minus 7 is going to be 10 points of damage on the first attack. Minus 5 is 21. 21 minus 13 is 8. And the last one is going to be minus 6, 21 again, so another 8. Okay, so do you want to use a miracle to save you from those attacks, or do you want to take potentially lethal damage?
Oh, it is.
miracle, so I will take a miracle.
Okay.
Or you can do the same as me.
No, it has to be a different attack for you to use your another reaction
Oh, yeah.
on it to jump into the shadow world.
Yep.
Okay. And Cody, I need you to roll for life like once if you dodge and twice if you're willing to go back into the real world. Okay. And yeah, I think we are going to end it here for today. Oof. Yeah, Cody, you're gonna be hit. Okay.
Can I use my second reaction to try to dodge the second one?
Yes, to try to go into the real world. Go ahead and roll life again.
No, I think if I failed it for the first time, then I would try to use the second one to just dodge it.
No, you
possible as well?
you can't dodge twice unless you have specific talents for it.
Oh.
Instead,
Instead I get hit and then I just go to the shadow world.
Exactly, you
That's
get a free reaction to change worlds.
Back.
But you have to sacrifice one of your turns to do that.
Okay.
So do you jump to avoid the second one? Because the second one I rolled a 7. So okay, go ahead and roll for life once again. And Theo, what is the miracle that you are calling upon? What is the fact of this settings?
Hold up.
Meanwhile, I'm going to.
Oh, you go ahead. I'm still configuring in my brain.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna calculate a little bit of damage. No worries.
That's fine.
Right. So you 16 minus 5 is gonna be 11. Okay. I'm just gonna take up the tearing. It's annoying me. So. Three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 4, 5, and 6. So you are able to soak. You have 10 armor and 6 in your life bonus, so you're able to soak 16. So you take 2. You take 2 points of damage from the entire blast of the first wave, because I did roll rather poorly on. I rolled a double 1 on one of my hits, like yeah. So you're able to soak most of this. Okay. Theo, on the other hand.
Okay. I was hearing this and I was like, wait, that's not me, is it? No, it's not. I'm dying, bro.
Okay.
Please don't die.
I could start rolling the damage for you, Theo. I think I only hit you. No, but like yeah, I hit you with like 10, 10, and 10.
Yeah,
and
10,
8,
8, and 8. Yeah.
Okay.
How about how about I use the fact that I recently built a Ouija board and I use that to summon a spirit to protect me?
Okay.
That's very Yu-Gi-Oh, I think.
Alright. So yeah, you a board appears on the ground, the spirit comes out of it and is going to throw off the mech's aim. And that is it for their turn. And that is it for us today. That was a fun little mission. Once you defeat those mechs, you will have access to the spaceports, and you will be done with this mission. And then I can throw at you a mission given to you by the strange aliens who've been colonized by the Empire. I've got a scenario I've been preparing for a really long time because I didn't get to play the other times that I ran this game, and it's gonna be fun. Anyways, I am gonna stop the recording now. Have a great day, everyone. Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload the next episode of this story. And it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day everyone.